speech, "You lied," when Obama said that Obamacare would not be offered to illegal aliens? Well, Joe Biden, in an interview, got confused and claimed that Obamacare, in fact, offered coverage to illegal aliens. Also, Joe Biden has for decades bragged about his civil rights record, claimed that he marched for civil rights, claimed that he participated in organized protests to desegregate lunch counters and movie theaters in Wilmington, Delaware. The only problem is no evidence. And why is Mayor Pete called a moderate? Supports reparations, supports the Green New Deal, supports Medicare for all who want it as a pathway to Medicare for all, whatever that means. $15 minimum wage. That's a moderate. I'm Larry Elder.
All across America, The Larry Elder Show.
Hi, Dan Marquardt here from Marquardt of Barrington Buick GMC to tell you why we love sponsoring Julie Roy's. I've gotten to know Julie in the last 2 years, and I've been a fan of hers for a long time. Julie is a blessing to us all as she strives to shine light on darkness, challenge all of us to think critically, and hold those in ministry leadership to the required biblical standards.
Thanks, Dan. I'm also proud to say that I'm a customer of Marquardt of Barrington Buick GMC. You want a car dealership that you can trust. And I'm here to tell you that I had a great experience buying my vehicle at Marquardt of Barrington. They made it easy, no pressure, very helpful, and frankly, I was impressed. And that's why I'd encourage you to support Marquardt of Barrington Buick GMC. You can find them at buyacar123.com. That's buyacar123.com.
When you do stop into Marquardt of Barrington Buick GMC, make sure you grab
a handful of licorice and drive.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
2 articles of impeachment. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. That's what House Democrats are planning to put forward.
President Trump violated his oath to the American people. He placed his own private interests ahead of our national security and the integrity of our elections.
Jerry Nadler chairs the Judiciary Committee and got into it at a contentious hearing with Republicans, including Congressman Matt Gaetz.
You're going to try to overturn the result of an election with unelected people giving
Gentlemen will suspend.
There's a plan now this morning.
Speaker Pelosi convening the chairman of the committees leading the impeachment inquiry for a 9 a.m. announcement in the Capitol. The next step would be the markup, where the articles are actually drafted by the Judiciary Committee.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. President Trump keeps calling it a hoax and a sham, insisting he did nothing wrong, asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden's son. And he said this about the report from the Justice Department's Inspector General who investigated the origins of the 2016 Russia probe.
This was an attempted overthrow, and a lot of people were in on it.
But the internal watchdog report showed that there was no bias and the investigation was justified, but there were performance failures and 17 errors in applications to conduct surveillance on a Trump campaign official. In New Zealand, a 6th person has died from Monday's volcano eruption. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, rescue teams have so far been unable to reach the island where this happened, saying there's too high a risk the volcano will erupt again.
The scale of this tragedy is devastating.
New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern acknowledging questions about whether the island should have been open to visitors after scientists had noted increased volcanic activity.
These questions must be asked and they must be answered.
Ardern saying the injured and missing include people from the US, Australia, China and beyond. Dave.
Simon, 8 are still missing and presumed dead, 30 others injured, many badly burned. America's listening to Fox News.
Snow showers and 20 degrees. 5:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. More testing is needed to determine how a Chicago-born hip-hop artist, Juice WRLD, died. An autopsy performed yesterday on the rap artist, whose real name is Jared Higgins, was unable to determine an exact cause of death. Reports say the rapper began convulsing and then going into seizures as authorities searched the private plane he arrived in at Midway Airport. Federal investigators found 70 pounds of marijuana and 6 bottles of prescription codeine cough syrup in several pieces of luggage. Chicago police did confirm a Chicago Tribune report that the girlfriend of the artist told agents Higgins had taken the opioid painkiller Percocet. Agents found suspected marijuana and guns in the group's luggage. A week after ex-police superintendent Eddie Johnson was fired by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, the first of a series of meetings was held asking the public who should be next. Members of the police board met with the public at the Trinity United Church of Christ on the south side.
A reformist who is willing to shake up the system.
Two of the last three persons to lead the CPD were outsiders. Two more public hearings are scheduled later this week on the 11th and 12th. Chicago Public Schools recommending the closure of two underperforming charter schools. The school district announcing yesterday that Fraser Prep Academy and Chicago Virtual Charter School should be shut down. CPS says Fraser's problems stem from being on the academic warning list, while Chicago Virtual had the lowest school quality rating policy score of any charter high school. No one is in custody after a woman was robbed by a man who tried to force the college student into an alley near the UIC campus. Police say the victim was on the sidewalk yesterday in the 1400 block of West Flournoy when a man grabbed her and attempted to drag her into an alley. The attacker took property from the woman, but she was able to escape. She remains hospitalized in stable condition. Authorities say two men died after shooting one another in Chicago as one of them was taking his son to school. Police say a 31-year-old man was shot several times Monday morning on the city's south side while walking with his son, who was unhurt and ran to get help. The man returned fire, striking the 24-year-old attacker in both legs. Both were later pronounced dead at nearby hospitals. Investigators say it's not clear what led to the shootings. It's 5:05 on AM 560. A suburban eye doctor has been charged with murder in the stabbing death of his girlfriend in Schaumburg, prompting police in Lake in the Hills and the McHenry State's Attorney's Office to re-examine the 2011 death of his wife. Bridget Prate was killed 9 years ago in what looked like a vehicle crash at a Lake in the Hills intersection. An autopsy on Anthony Prate's wife was inconclusive, and police were investigating how she died as recently as 2016. Schaumburg police took Anthony Prate into custody for the November 22nd killing of his girlfriend. He's charged with first-degree murder and continues to be held without bond. Drew Peterson is in a new prison. The Illinois Department of Corrections says the ex-Bolingbrook police officer is no longer in federal custody and has been transferred to a state facility outside of Illinois. He's serving a 38-year sentence for the 2004 killing of his third wife, Kathleen Savio. The attorney for the family of a 14-year-old boy who died after being found unresponsive in a Northwest Indiana high school swimming pool says it has reached a legal settlement with the school's district. Curtis Walton Jr. died September 12 after being found in a Calumet High School swimming pool following football practice. Trainers tried to revive him, but he died at a nearby hospital. Chicago sports, Raptors 93-92 winners over the Bulls at the UC. Andrew Shaw will be out of the Blackhawks lineup for at least the near future. Forward's been placed on long-term IR with a concussion. The season is over for Bears inside linebacker Roquan Smith, the second-year player placed on IR after suffering a torn pectoral muscle in last Thursday night's win over the Cowboys. The news, a service of Dell. Goodbye Windows 7, hello Windows 10. Dell's holiday sales are the perfect time to upgrade. Save big on business computers with Intel Core processors, plus free shipping. Call a small business technology advisor at 877-BUY-DELL, 877-BUY-DELL, or visit Dell.com/business deals. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes the impeachment process is a sham.
Part of me hopes that they go through with it. I think that the country is not supportive. People who hate Donald Trump support it. because that's all that matters to them. But if Pence were president, it would be the same thing. It's not Trump, it's a Republican, especially one who defeated Hillary Clinton when he was not supposed to.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
T-Mobile for Business is leading the 5G charge. We've invested nearly $30 billion in our advanced network designed to drive true workforce mobility. T-Mobile for Business is with you where your office is today. Business is changing. Are you with us? Visit T-MobileForBusiness.com.
5:10 AM 560 Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonti.
Road conditions look pretty good for the most part, despite some light snow and flurries in and around Chicago this morning. Starting today, new ramps connecting the Reagan Tollway with 47 and Sugar Grove are scheduled to open after a ribbon cutting early this afternoon. So then there should be access westbound side of 88 to 47 and an on-ramp 47 to the eastbound Reagan Tollway. On the Kennedy, the on-ramps inbound from Madison, Folsom Randolph are set to reopen after overnight closures. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet right now. No crashes or incidents to report. That's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast at 5:11 is from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and also brought to you by Permaseal. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And the latest forecast this morning from our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, partly to mostly sunny, much colder. High today, 25. It'll be clear and cold tonight with the low dropping to 13. Partly sunny, cold day for tomorrow, high 25. Clouds and breezy on Thursday with a high 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
20 at O'Hare, 23 along the lakefront, 21 at Midway. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Lon Chen of the Hoover Institution for Townhall.com. Democrats this week are holding a hearing to discuss legislation that would impose a single-payer, government-run healthcare system on every American. Not only do they want to take away the healthcare you have and like, but they want to put government bureaucrats in charge of your medical decisions, all while putting an end to the innovation and dynamism that has made the American healthcare system the finest in the world. They claim it will save money and improve service, but the only thing it will actually increase are taxes and wait times for quality care. They also claim it will make things easier for Americans, but when's the last time you had an easier experience when dealing with the DMV or another government agency? The better course is to introduce more choice, competition, and transparency into our healthcare system. That will lower costs and expand access to care for more Americans. I'm Lon Chen.
The Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy. Learn more at publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Veteran-owned and family-run Hogan Tech Inc. is an industry leader in the cell tower industry. And right now, Hogan Tech has openings in Northern Illinois and Wisconsin for cell tower technicians, including foremen, top hands, and journeymen. Qualified candidates could earn 6 figures plus 5-figure year-end bonus. And a benefits package that includes 401k, health insurance options, and a Monday through Friday work week with overtime and generous per diems. Hogan Tech believes in a work-life balance and that employees should be home with family on the weekends. If you, a family member, or friend qualify, Hogan Tech would like to talk to you about joining their quality group of employees. There are multiple positions available and plenty of work through 2020 and beyond. Visit HoganTech.com for information or to apply. That's HoganTech.com. Veterans looking for a career encouraged to apply. HoganTech.com. HoganTech.com. Focused on employees, safety, training, quality, and satisfied customers for nearly a quarter of a century. This hourly segment is brought to you by The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. Every Saturday morning at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the DOJ Inspector General's report out yesterday, released yesterday afternoon, finds systemic failures, misstatements. In fact, by John Solomon's count, 51 violations and 9 false statements with respect to the FBI's Russia FISA applications, but the Inspector General's report finds no problem with the initiation of the Russian collusion investigation. So 51 violations, 9 false statements, no issue with the initiation of the investigation. Thus, of course, how is it being reported? Vindication. Jim Comey is vindicated, the senior leadership of the FBI is vindicated, and the Russian collusion investigation from soup to nuts is now vindicated. That's how it's being reported. Here's how President Trump reacted.
It's a disgrace what's happened with respect to the things that were done to our country. It should never again happen to another president. It is incredible, far worse than I would have ever thought possible. And it's an embarrassment to our country. It's dishonest. It's everything that a lot of people thought it would be, except far worse.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. One of the obvious points here that was purposely glossed over by the Beltway Big Government Press Corps is even if you stipulate that the investigation, the launch of it, was legitimate, that doesn't mean that the prosecution of the investigation was legitimate. Is it possible to make that distinction? Of course it is. By the way, that's assuming the best case scenario for Comey et al., because in point of fact, the premise is being challenged by both Attorney General Barr and U.S. Attorney John Durham, who's doing his own investigation that extends beyond the internal machinations of the Justice Department. In other words, the Durham investigation, the conclusion of which we still await, includes contextual factors, circumstances beyond the inner workings of the Justice Department. And both of those individuals challenged the Horowitz conclusion, the IG's conclusion, that the investigation, the launch of it, was legitimate. Attorney General Barr's statement, the Inspector General report now makes clear that the FBI launched an intrusive investigation of a U.S. presidential campaign on the thinnest suspicions, the thinnest of suspicions, that in my view were insufficient to justify the steps taken. Insufficient to justify the steps taken. That's Attorney General Barr's conclusion. It's also clear that from its inception, the evidence produced by the investigation was consistently exculpatory. Nevertheless, the investigation and surveillance was pushed forward for the duration of the campaign and deep into President Trump's administration. So Barr is saying the initiation of the investigation was not legitimate. It did not have the requisite basis, and it went forward despite exculpatory information being presented every step of the way. And yet here's how Jim Comey reacts to softballs being thrown at him by MSNBC's Nicole Wallace.
It was all made up. 2 years of sitting silently at the FBI while you're lied about. And finally, the truth is out. It was lies. There was no treason. There was no conspiracy. There was no tapping of Trump's wires. There was no putting informants in the campaign. It was all nonsense. And the FBI finally has its day with the American people, and I hope they pay attention to it. My goal is to have as many of the American people as possible learn from this and learn that the FBI is the way you'd want it to be. It's not on anybody's side.
Is that your takeaway from the reporting you've seen and from what you've heard from both the president and Jim Comey? The FBI, under Jim Comey, let's talk about this in the proper time context. The FBI is what you want it to be. 51 violations, 9 false statements, an attorney general, and a gentleman who even Jim Comey concedes is a professional by reputation, John Durham, who will go where the facts lead, say we disagree not only with the initiation of the investigation, we disagree with the continuation of it in the face of exculpatory evidence. Not to mention, of course, they find it troubling the violations and the false statements that were used to continue to obtain FISA warrants to continue the investigation.
Well, not only that, but Jim Baker, former commander in the FBI, he wants an apology, Dan.
I think the president should apologize to us. I respectfully asked him to, I would ask him to apologize to me, to my colleagues, because the things he said are just wrong. And I think he should step up and do that at a minimum.
Yeah, I don't think President Trump was in the mood to be issuing any apologies to senior leadership of Jim Comey's FBI.
This was an overthrow of government. This was an attempted overthrow, and a lot of people were in on it, and they got caught. They got caught red-handed.
Now, by the way, Jim Comey in that softball interview with Nicole Wallace, you remember Nicole Wallace from such famous statements as Trump wants to, quote-unquote, exterminate Latinos. So far afield have been some of her statements that she's actually been prompted to apologize on MSNBC airwaves for her hysterics. That's Comey's interrogator, just to give you a sense of how rough that interview was. Comey in that interview, I volunteered to go on Fox and Friends, but they decided to cancel my appearance. I'll tell you what, Jim, you're Diogenes as well as the one honest man he sought, aren't you? That's how you cast yourself. Morning Answer's waiting for you. Any day you want to come on, anytime you want to prove up under scrutiny, right?
Let's text him out and tweet out the phone number.
Come on in. Come on in. We'll discuss it. We'll start with the IG report that you say exonerates you, vindicates you, and casts President Trump in the proper light. And here's Jim Comey.
He was doing a victory lap yesterday.
Here's Jim Comey on what the proper light is for Trump.
It won't end until this president's out of office. He needs to burn the FBI down because its culture and its commitment to the rule of law is the opposite of everything he stands for.
Jim Comey's FBI was committed to the rule of law, and President Trump isn't. Jim Comey's FBI, that the Department of Justice Inspector General found committed 51 violations and propagated 9 false statements in advancing a dubious 2-year investigation. That's standing for the rule of law in Jim Comey world. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know what, Dan? I knew that Horowitz was going to come up with something weak and pathetic like this because that's what he did with the last report that he did. But as long as you got the media protecting people like Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and all the other ones, they could say whatever they want because everyone's going to know right now that, you know what, I was vindicated because Horowitz said so. Why did the guy even give an opinion at all? All he had to do was just present the facts.
Well,
you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, let's just be clear. Horowitz didn't vindicate anybody. Here's Horowitz's statement from the report. We concluded that the failures described above in this report represent serious performance failures by the supervisory and non-supervisory agents with responsibility over the FISA applications. That's not exactly a clean bill of health. And his previous report suggesting that Comey abrogated his professional responsibilities was no clean bill of health either.
No, I agree with you 100%. It's just that most of the people that are not listening to your show, which I call humanoids, are going to take away from this that Comey was vindicated.
Yeah.
That, you know what, there was no bias, that everything was done above board. And I got a great idea for you, Dan. You want to be a prosecutor or interview a guy like Comey, you know what, get an actor and play Comey's part because he's got enough material out there that someone could actually act like him, like a jerk from Kansas City, and then just crucify the person right on the air the way that you probably want to. And think about that. I think that would be a great show.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Mike in Crown Point.
That comment about Horowitz sounds remarkably similar to the last sentence from Mueller, where Mueller stated we didn't exonerate him. It's just a way out. And I think one thing President Trump ought to do when this is all over and he's still in office, fire every single Obama appointee wherever they're at. Because for the next 4 years, they'll be doing the same thing.
Thanks for the call, Mike. There is one thing to note here, and of course, this sort of nuance and specificity is also absent from all the Beltway big government press corps reporting. The IG specifically says, quote, "A role in this review was not to second-guess discretionary judgments by department personnel about whether to open an investigation." So Horowitz is not saying I would have opened the investigation. He's saying technically, because of the low threshold, it was okay to open the investigation. And then there's an assessment of how that investigation proceeded, and it gets even more choppy from there. That's very different than you're hearing, of course, from Comey and, the Beltway media handmaidens that we've described.
Well, and they were highlighting text messages from pro-Trump text messages from FBI agents. Did you see that? There's a big thing saying that this is watching him win on election night was watching a Super Bowl comeback.
Yeah.
That's all they have. I'm just saying that they're like, oh, look, it was so good. I mean, this is so good for us. There was nothing there. There was nobody spying on his 2016 campaign. And there's pro-Trump pro-Trumpers in the FBI.
I don't care
office.
if every single person was a pro-Trumper. If you have 51 procedural violations and 9 false statements that were used to illicitly obtain warrants to surveil a presidential campaign, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Lewis on the south side.
Hello?
Yep, you're on.
Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what you're looking at is what's called a code of silence, and it started with Loretta Lynch, and it worked its way on down. Because if you notice, nobody was prosecuted for the 51 violations.
Well, that's right. Thanks for the call, Lewis. I appreciate that.
Or lost their jobs, right?
Not yet. I mean, you still have that Durham report.
If we did that at work, we'd be fired. I mean, we would.
Well, it's just, I mean, yes, that's true. There certainly would be grounds to do it. The reporting on this is really, really just something to behold.
No, it's fraudulent, really.
And I'll tell you, it's astounding that the media has so little regard for, so many in the Beltway Big Government Press Corps have so little regard for their own reputations. They are so, talk about cultists, they are so hell-bent on deposing Trump, on de-electing Trump, on overturning the results of the 2016 election, that they do not care about their professional reputation. They don't care about anything resembling ethical standards, and they certainly don't care about telling a complete story. And the coverage of the IG report in the 24 hours since its release is just more testament to that.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Property managers, manufacturing, commercial, privately and locally owned companies looking for accountability from their alarm service provider. This message is for you.
Out-of-town national companies are struggling to provide service and support for your security and fire alarm system. You can do better with SMG Security. SMG Security is a local security service and fire alarm system provider with a mission to be the security industry leader in performance and customer satisfaction for the Chicagoland area. Concentration on local protection with a local UL central monitoring system delivers the ultimate protection for you, your employees, and property from theft, fire, and workplace violence. In many cases, SMG can detect issues before they become a major problem and are continually establishing new and improved industry standards and technology to keep your business safe and secure. Get a security solution based on your business budget and needs from SMG Security. And if you switch protection to SMG before the end of the month, you'll get 3 months of free service. Go to smgsecurity.com. smgsecurity.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Dan Hannan. He's a member of the EU representing Runnymede. The Magna Carta was signed. He has also been one of the architects of Brexit. We're going to talk to him about that Thursday election in the UK, as well as a fun ad from Boris Johnson and the Tories. It's a Love Actually parody.
Oh,
it's really, really good.
It's so good.
Isn't it?
It's so good.
And today's the day Democrats ready to unveil 2 articles of impeachment, what they are and what they mean for the president. But now let's head straight into that newsroom. The one, the only, Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. House Democrats taking the raps this holiday season off 2 articles of impeachment today. Democrat Chairman Jerry Nadler says the president's conduct, in his opinion, was impeachable.
President Trump violated his oath to the American people. He placed his own private interests ahead of our national security and the integrity of our elections, and constitutes a continuing threat to the integrity of our elections and to our democratic system of government.
The lead prosecutor for House Republicans is calling impeachment a rushed, abusive, and unfair process.
The artificial and arbitrary political deadline by which Democrats are determined to finish impeachment by Christmas leads to a rushed process and missed opportunities to obtain relevant information.
House leaders will announce the articles charging the president. Democrats accuse the president of abusing his office by pressuring Ukraine to investigate political rivals. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham says the DOJ watchdog report shows that the FBI Russia probe was fundamentally flawed. Speaking at the Capitol, South Carolina Republican condemned the FBI methods for obtaining warrants to surveil the Trump campaign and aide Carter Page.
I believe there will be no debate among reasonable-minded people, particularly lawyers, about how the system not only got off the rails, but in my view became a criminal enterprise.
Graham says he's not going to accept that politics is not involved because those who oversaw the probe did not like the president. Police and officials this morning say 6 have been shot and killed, 3 others wounded in a shooting in a hospital in the Eastern Czech Republic. It's a developing story we're following this morning. The apparent suspect later shot himself as police approached his car and died. The shooting happened this morning in the University Hospital District in the city of Ostrava. Kentucky's strict abortion law will not get a hearing before the Supreme Court. The justices declining to hear an appeal on the pro-life law that requires doctors to perform ultrasounds and show fetal images to women who request abortions. Well, Spygate is back in the NFL this morning. The Patriots stand accused again, this time of recording the Cincinnati Bengals sideline against the Browns on Sunday. Bengals are set to play the Patriots this coming Sunday. Cincinnati says the team's play calls were filmed. Patriots say a team video crew violated league policy while producing a web series. The man who inspired that ALS Ice Bucket Challenge has died of that disease. Former Boston College baseball player Pete Frates died Monday at age 34. He was diagnosed with ALS in 2012. That Ice Bucket Challenge that started in 2014 raised $250 million for ALS research. Chicago sports, Raptors over the Bulls, 93-92. Season's over for Bears linebacker Roquan Smith. Monday Night Football, Eagles rally past the Giants, 23-17. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a robust economy.
You can't contradict that these are the best numbers of our lives.
So it was Jim Cramer, and he said no matter what you think of the president, there's no denying we are living in the best labor market in more than a generation. Well, we already know that. We've never had a better employment situation in the country than we do now.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Studies show that a divorce can be the most stressful event in a person's life. However, you have the option to choose a method of ending your marriage in a way that minimizes that stress for you and your children. Mediation is a confidential process with a neutral and trained mediator. The confidentiality of mediation protects your children, your circumstances, and financial information from public scrutiny. Mediation also lets you control the divorce process instead of the process controlling you. You can choose to have your attorney attend a mediation session. You can choose to involve mental health professionals or financial professionals. You can choose the issues to be mediated, and you can choose from a multitude of options to settle those issues instead of a stranger choosing for you. Divorce does not have to be destructive. There is a way to minimize the impact on your family. There is a better way. Find out more at levinbrend.com. That's LEVINBREND.com or 312-726-4440. 312-726-4440. 4440.
I have cabin fever already. Chicago weather is so unpredictable, and it could be months before we get outside for a little warm sunshine.
What about using the sunroom? We can sweep out the cobwebs. I can patch up the glass with duct tape. Get that raccoon out.
No. We need a complete overhaul of the sunroom. I'm calling Sunspace by Arborview.
Rediscover your dream sunroom. That existing sunroom or screened-in porch that's been neglected or used for storage can be a beautiful living space waiting to come alive. It just needs TLC from the sunroom experts at Sunspace by Arborview. Convert your screened-in porch into a 3-season room or turn an old, outdated porch into a fresh new retreat free of bad weather, bugs, dust, and dirt. Sunspace by Arborview can do it all. Walls, WeatherMaster windows, doors, and decking, all using Sunspace products. They'll even collaborate with your new home builder. You could be waiting a long time for a warm-up. Update or convert your pre-existing screened-in porch now. Visit sunspacebyarborview.net. sunspacebyarborview.net.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
5:37. We're also watching a developing story this morning as near Antarctica, where a Chilean military craft with 17 crew and 21 passengers on board has gone down in the Drake Passage between South America and Antarctica. We'll keep an eye on that for you as Jim Telemonte joins us with an eye on the roads.
Traffic is circulating well right now. The area expressways and tollways. We're not seeing too much congestion. Bishopport inbound. You'll prepare to tap the brakes between 103rd and the Verge. But it's not a big backup yet. Ryan's getting a little congested approaching downtown. Edens is fine. Kennedy as well. Reversibles are open inbound. No problem to report on the Eisenhower. Stevenson, you'll shortly see some congestion around Pulaski. The tollways are looking great. There is still some pavement striping going on at the Tri-State. Northbound Dundee to 22, there's some work in the right lane. And southbound 22 to Sanders, right lane closure. That's scheduled till 7. That's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, we see partly to mostly sunny and colder conditions today, a high of 25. A moonlit sky, very chilly overnight, a low of 13. It's 20 right now. Next news coming up at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The Brits have an election on Thursday, and Boris Johnson and the Conservatives are closing the show with a really fun ad. Boris Johnson, you know, he's got
from New York. He was born in New York.
Well, he's got the bit of that,
Trump thing
disheveled look going on, but he's actually a very sharp guy, very skilled debater, and he's got quite a bit of
chutzpah,
character, color. He does a good job doing his version of Love Actually.
Yes.
Full like Bob Dylan, Homesick Subterranean Blues. This is the closing the show, basically saying the argument, making the argument. Let's just get this done and move on already.
Get all of this done and move on.
Vote Conservative on Thursday. Get Brexit
sick of this.
done. What?
All they're arguing, they just need to get it done.
Stop the chaos.
I'll get it. Oh, hi.
Who is it?
Boris Johnson.
It's carol singers.
Give him a quid and tell him to bugger off.
And then he starts going through the cards. The other guy could win. You have to make a choice between a working majority and another gridlocked hung parliament arguing about Brexit. Enough. Let's get this done. And on it goes from there. You know, vote Conservative, actually. And it's awesome. It's really well done. I think it's got good sensibility. For more on what actually is going to happen on Thursday, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Daniel Hannan, who's credited among many as one of the architects of Brexit, a long time coming, well before the sort of Theresa May, well before Boris Johnson, for years and years, actually. He's the author of a number of books, How We Invented Freedom and Why It Matters, The New Road to Serfdom, wrote in 2016, Why Vote to Leave, Why Vote for Brexit. Inventing Freedom is one of my favorites of his. He's a member of the European Parliament representing Southeast England for the Conservative Party. He's also a Washington Examiner columnist, and maybe next to the Magna Carta Memorial in Runnymede, there'll be a Brexit memorial one day with Dan Hannan's picture on it. Dan, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure to be with you guys. And by the way, Brexit itself has been a very long time coming. I have a little boy who is now 3.5 years old. He has lived his entire life in a country that has voted to leave the European Union but has not in fact left. That's basically why we're having this election.
Was he hoping that Benedict Cumberbatch would play you in the HBO movie about it? That seems like that was about 2.5 years ago.
I was kind of hoping, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sure.
Old now,
of course. Yeah.
But the guy they ended up with, they found some old bald guy. I mean, unbelievable. He was like 67 and from Tennessee.
How could you let that happen?
Nothing like you. Absolutely nothing like
you.
The
worst thing was I've got to say, he was a brilliant, brilliant actor. He had my way of walking and sitting and moving my hands eerily well done, as they all did.
Well, so the ad that we were just talking about, the message of the ad. Let's just get this done already and move on. That's where you conservatives obviously feel the UK population is.
Right. I mean, first of all, I think the ad, by the way, was a brilliant trolling of that insufferable twerp Hugh Grant, who, of course, plays that part in the
Yes.
original movie, and who has now been strongly backing Jeremy Corbyn over the last couple of weeks. But yes, I think we've had a quite unpleasant culture war for the last 3 years in the UK. It's not a million miles away from what happened after Donald Trump's election 6 months later. People became very polarized, and the divisions became tribal. So during the referendum itself, there was still a fairly civil and civilized discussion about trade, sovereignty, money, migration, and so on. Once the result was in, the losing side was so shocked and disoriented that it became about the kinds of people we don't like. And one side felt that it was against ignorant working-class oafs who had been lied to by unscrupulous demagogues like me, and the other side became about, we don't like these kind of sneering snobs who secretly detest their own country, right? I'm guessing familiar to some of your listeners in Chicago. And I don't see any way of getting past that until we have delivered Brexit in a way that is liberal and global and internationalist, that reassures the 48% who voted against it their worst fears were misplaced, and then we can move on to becoming a pro-business, tax-friendly, competitive, successful global economy.
Just one thing on actors, just the Hugh Grant thing. Just refer them to Anthony Hopkins, who in an interview with Brad Pitt this week said, the reason I don't talk about politics because it turns out actors are pretty stupid. At least he has some sort of, self-awareness.
It's so extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, Plato thought it was like a kind of moral prostitution. He thought that lying for a living was worse than actual physical prostitution. Rousseau wanted theatricals banned because he thought it destroyed the morals of a society. Wouldn't it be extraordinary if those guys could be transported in a time machine to our own age to see that we defer to actors on subjects other than acting? I mean, we turn them into kind of, moral figures. It's absolutely bizarre.
Well, why are some Brits fearful of leaving the European Union?
Well, people are always nervous about change, and people can always be persuaded that change is going to be disruptive and so on. And in the end, there's no way of overcoming that until you've done it and shown people that it's not that big a deal. I think during the period immediately after the referendum, people took up these entrenched positions. And they became convinced, in a way that, the New York Times and the Washington Post are also convinced, that Brexit was a kind of nostalgic, anti-immigrant, nativist project. And, there's no way you can argue people out of that position. The only way to convince them that that is incorrect is to show that after we've left the European Union, we will remain a country that is interested and engaged in the affairs of every continent, including Europe, and also that we will be able to revive our close friendships with old allies, not least in the other great English-speaking democracies. One of the first consequences that I hope will come after Brexit is a good, deep, comprehensive free trade agreement with the United States. You're our biggest investors. We're your biggest investors. We're each other's biggest trading partners. It's a natural market that rests on language and legal systems and similar accountancy rules and all the rest of it. And we haven't been able to do that because Brussels until now has controlled our trade.
Now, just continuing the parallels between the UK and the US, last week, seems like maybe you have a bit of a deep state problem, as we say here. Last week, you had the lead envoy for Brexit in the British Embassy in D.C., Alexandra Hall, resign, suggesting that she just could no longer deliver messages from the political leaders in Britain that were less than fully honest.
Yes, I mean, I'm not sure I'd call that the deep state. It's more a kind of shallow to medium state of these often quite junior officials who trot out these cliches. I mean, don't ever make the mistake of thinking that because somebody is a civil servant or a diplomat that they necessarily have expertise. If anything, they are even more vulnerable to the groupthink and the fashionable opinions of the age. And on this, I mean, she is just wrong. I've had a number of really positive and productive conversations about trade with people in the administration and with congressmen on both sides of the aisle. We've got the capacity to do some big and impressive things here. We could have very quickly a US-UK free trade agreement that will be a gold standard because it will be about mutual recognition. It'll be about the little guy rather than the big corporates. I get the impression that this administration wants to get it done on this side of the election. I mean, this side of your election, which is a tight timetable, but not completely impossible. Just think that within a year, we could have agreed, even if it hasn't completed all its ratification, we could have agreed a massive, deep, comprehensive FTA between the world's biggest economy and the world's fifth biggest economy. That has good knock-on consequences for the whole world.
Absolutely. Now, continuing the parallels again, media coverage here in the run-up to your election on Thursday. The media coverage of Jeremy Corbyn is really interesting. I always like the gymnastics that some members of the media will do to advance their candidate. And what I've seen from some of the tabloids over there is, hey, you might not like Jeremy Corbyn. Hey, you may not like his anti-Semitism. Hey, you may not like his desire to nationalize certain industries. But, you know, it's important that you vote for him anyway.
What an extraordinary moral contortion is required to come up with the sentence, you may not like the anti-Semitism, but, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is completely unprecedented for us. We've, of course, like every other country in the world, we have had individual anti-Semites down the years, but never before have they infiltrated one of the major parties. And that is something that gives us a very different history from most of Europe, right? So this is completely outside our experience in the UK. And I think there's a moral test there for the rest of, for the non-Jewish population. If you're prepared to say, I don't like the anti-Semitism, but, right, in other words, my tribal dislike of the Conservatives or my dislike of Brexit trumps my concern for my Jewish fellow citizens, I think that would say something really unsettling about us as a country. It's also important to stress that the Marxism is new. Again, something that makes us very different from most of Europe. We've never had a socialist revolutionary party in beyond kind of 2% sort of thing in Britain. Our Labour Party was, well, what one of its great leaders famously said, it owes more to Methodism than to Marxism, right? It was a broad working class movement that was never really about tearing things down. It was rooted in temperance societies and working men's libraries and brass bands and nonconformist churches. This anti-British, anti-American Marxist virus has never really infected it before. And I think there's a real test of the entire electorate now. Are we prepared to tolerate this kind of thing simply because we don't like the fact that we're leaving the European Union, or we don't like this or that aspect of conservative policy? I fundamentally have a higher opinion of my fellow countrymen than that, which is why I am quietly optimistic about Thursday's vote.
He is Daniel Hannan. He's a member of the EU, representing Southeast England for the Conservative Party, Washington Examiner columnist. Pick up any number of his books: Inventing Freedom, How We Invented Freedom, Why It Matters, The New Road to Serfdom, Why America Must Not Follow Europe. A lot of parallels, as we've been discussing here in the run-up to our respective elections. Good luck on Thursday. Dan Hannan, thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you very much, Dan.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Risk. How much are you willing to take with your business's computer and network system? Did you know, as of January 14th, 2020, Windows 7 will no longer be supported by Microsoft? That means no more security patches, no more updates, creating a huge security threat for your business if you don't have Windows 10 safely installed on your computers. Turnkey IT can help. If you've waited to update your network and computers to Windows 10, there's still time, but not much. Contact Turnkey IT as soon as possible to help make a smooth transition and not be vulnerable to security risks and viruses that will be able to attack your old Windows installations. Turnkey can also make sure all your hardware is up to the task of the more powerful Windows 10 operating system. And for a limited time, trade in your old Windows 7 PC and get $100 towards the purchase of a new Windows 10 Pro PC. The time to act is now. Support for Windows 7 is ending.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Are you struggling with gift ideas this year? Give the gift of massage from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka, the oldest and best rated massage therapy center on the North Shore. Order instant gift cards online by visiting MassageWinnetka.com. Share and give the gift of therapeutic massage this holiday season from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka, a proud supporter of Food for the Poor and AM 560. Founded in 1989 by owner and director John G. Lewis, Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka is open every day of the week, featuring 9 exceptional therapists on staff, known for the best sports massage, pain relief, relaxation, and stress reduction treatments. Struggling with gift ideas? Give the gift of massage and relaxation from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka. Order instant gift cards online by visiting MassageWinnetka.com and check out their holiday specials. That's MassageWinnetka.com, MassageWinnetka.com, or call 847-446-5700, 847-446-5700.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Limu, when we're not telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, I've actually been moonlighting as a DJ. Check it! Here's the good part! Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Hey, my friend's company spent 3 days cleaning up an email phishing attack that targeted several dozen employees.
Yeah, if just one malicious email slips through, an attack can spread quickly and do serious damage.
What if that happens to us?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda Forensics and Incident Response.
So we're good?
Yes, with fast automated response and remediation, all traces of the attack can be removed in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and we are still working through our Food for the Poor campaign 2019, trying to raise the money to feed 600 families from Venezuela who are refugeed in Colombia, part of the 4 million who have fled the socialist ravages in Venezuela to survive in Colombia, at least for now. Food for the Poor, 5-star Charity Navigator rated nonprofit. 90% plus of every dollar raised goes to the actual beneficiaries, in this case, the families that they feed. Some 9,000 families in Colombia that they feed through the food centers that they have constructed, the infrastructure they've built. 9,000 people they feed every day.
A day.
We're just trying to help them with the larger mission, 600 families over the course of a year. And there's a couple of ways you can help us help them.
And one way is to make a one-time donation of $300. I know it sounds like a lot for some of you. if you think about it, it's just $25 a month. That's probably 2 or 3 visits to Starbucks, honestly. And with that, you'll feed a family of 4 for 1 year. And yesterday we surpassed, we're more than halfway, but we're still not there yet, to make a personal donation, maybe on behalf of your well-fed children or grandchildren. Call 844-862-HOPE. I call it every year. It takes literally 2 or 3 minutes. Operators are standing by. They're not going to waste your time. Put it on a credit card. Again, 844-862-HOPE, or go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food. But our business benefactor program is really where it's at.
And we want to thank the businesses who've already signed up: Dietz Janitorial, Cafe Salsa, Vein Center of Orland Park, Elgin Eye Clinic, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, Ron Wexler with Keller Williams Preferred Realty, a buddy of mine, 4-Star Wealth Advisors, who just signed up yesterday. Here's how the business benefactor program works. Any business that makes a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor receives, as a thank you from us for your generosity, 40 60-second commercials for your business, to profile your business and what you do on our airwaves. Those commercials run primetime broadcasting hours, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the way to enroll in the business benefactor program, just call our sales manager, Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951. Again, that's Ann Jeanette at 847-472-8951. Or you can go to our website, 560theanswer.com, and search the keyword food. 560theanswer.com and search the keyword food.
And every year this does sell out. And again, the list is getting longer of business benefactors. It really is the best deal in Chicagoland radio. Think about it, $2,500. With that, you'll feed 8 families of 4. 8 families of 4 for 1 year. The money, it's tax deductible, goes to Food for the Poor, which is a wonderful charity. And then you get 40 one-minute commercials.
Here's the other.
And Dan could voice them, or I could too.
And here's the other thing about this too. We stress this about Food for the Poor. They're in the business of sustainable solutions. What you have with so many of these refugees, and we've talked to them and talked about them, is professionals who've had their livelihoods and their possessions effectively stolen from the government. This is not sort of like state dependents that are fleeing from Venezuela to Colombia. These were professionals, doctors, lawyers, people that were working for a living, people that were self-sufficient and can no longer be because of what their government has done to them.
And taken from them.
Right. So understand who we're serving and the perils they find themselves in.
And without Food for the Poor's help, people would be dying. And so they have 11 feeding centers. They need this money to open up more feeding centers and create a shelter for people in need. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Closing arguments on impeachment at 6:06.
But first, here is Mike Scott.
Chicagoans weigh in on the search for the next top cop. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Abuse of power, obstruction of Congress. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Those are the 2 impeachment charges House Democrats plan to announce in 2 hours.
The facts are clear. The danger to our democracy is clear, and our duty is clear.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler at the end of a hearing where Republicans push back hard, defending President Trump, who insists he did nothing wrong, asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and son while initially holding up military aid. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Democrats appear to be taking a narrow approach with the 2 articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The announcement this morning to come after a raucous hearing in the House Judiciary Committee. Republican Ranking Member Doug Collins pressed counsel Daniel Goldman on donations to Democratic causes, and then GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz jumped in.
What is the implication here? But by the way, I didn't give anything close to $1 million remotely, so I don't know.
The implication is we want Schiff in that chair, not you. The implication is the person that wrote the report is the person that should come and present it.
Republicans wanted House Intelligence Committee Chair Democrat Adam Schiff to testify. Dave?
Rachel, the Justice Department's Inspector General, who probed the origins of the Russia probe, found the FBI was justified and there was no political bias. But his report faulted the FBI for at least 17 significant errors in applications for surveillance on a Trump campaign associate. The president claims it was an attempted overthrow.
And a lot of people were in on it, and they got caught.
One of the 31 people injured in Monday's volcano eruption in New Zealand has died. Many of the others badly burned.
It is possible that not all of the patients will survive.
Pete Watson with New Zealand's Ministry of Health. 5 others were killed. 8 more are missing and presumed dead. Crews can't even get to the island to search because of the volcano danger. There was a mass shooting in the Czech Republic this morning. A man killed 6 people at close range in a hospital waiting room in Ostrava and then wounded 3 more. He fled, but shot and killed himself when police closed in on his car. America's listening to Fox News.
We've had snow showers overnight, 20 degrees and gusty winds at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. More testing is said to be done on how Chicago-born rapper Juice WRLD died. An autopsy performed yesterday on the hip-hop artist, whose real name is Jared Higgins, was unable to pinpoint an exact cause of death. However, reports say the rapper began convulsing and going into seizures as authorities searched the private plane he arrived in. Federal investigators found 70 pounds of marijuana and 6 bottles of prescription codeine cough syrup in several pieces of luggage. Chicago police did confirm a Chicago Tribune report that the rapper's girlfriend told the agent Higgins had taken the opioid painkiller Percocet. Agents found the suspected marijuana and guns in the group's luggage. A week after ex-police superintendent Eddie Johnson was fired by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, the first in a series of meetings was held asking the public who should be next. Members of the police board met with the public at Trinity United Church of Christ on the South Side last night.
A reformist who is willing to shake up the system.
2 of the last 3 persons to lead CPD were outsiders. 2 more public meetings are scheduled this week. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx getting a prime spot in the March 2020 primary election ballot. Foxx will appear first on the ballot in her bid for re-election after her name was chosen during a lottery yesterday. Bob Fioretti's name will be last on that ballot. The Justice Department is taking legal action this morning against an Olympian from Mexico. Jose Vilches is charged with sexually abusing multiple young gymnasts that he coached in southwest suburban Shanahan. The department filed a lawsuit yesterday against him in an effort to revoke his citizenship. The suit claims he lied on naturalization applications, concealing that he sexually abused girls he coached in the 80s and 90s. Vilches was charged last year in Will County with sexually assaulting a girl he coached at I&M Gymnastics between 2012 and 2013. Chicago sports, Raptors over the Bulls, 93-92. Season over for Bears inside linebacker Roquan Smith. Monday Night Football, Giants topped Philly. The news service of T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile for Business is leading the 5G charge. They've invested nearly $30 billion in their advanced network design to drive true workforce mobility. T-Mobile for Business is with you where your office is today. Business is changing. Are you with them? Visit T-MobileForBusiness.com. 6:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a robust economy.
You can't contradict that these are the best numbers of our lives.
So it was Jim Cramer, and he said no matter what you think of the president, there's no denying we are living in the best labor market in more than a generation. Well, we already know that. We've never had a better employment situation in the country than we do now.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Built for the Holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours just don't magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs and trucks. You don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents, naughty or nice. Just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event. Best-in-class payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/2020. See participating dealer for complete details.
Are you looking for the perfect gift? I hope you'll check out Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville. I love these guys. Mike Gallagher here at Roland's. Not only do they care about making America great again, They also care about making your holiday moments memorable. You know, buying jewelry is about trust. Roland's is the go-to place. You're going to see why when you visit RolandsJewelers.com or head to downtown Libertyville to work with them in person. It's no hassle. They'll show you pieces from the top designers, Simon G. with beautiful pendants. The Hearts on Fire diamond earrings are a great choice. Italian designer Roberto Coin's collection is gorgeous. Ken over at Roland's is offering up to $500 for AM 560 The Answer listeners. Not just for jewelry, but luxury timepieces, like the watch I wear from Roland's, Shinola, or Longines, or Tag Heuer. Your choice. Roland's Jewelers makes your gift giving easy. RolandsJewelers.com. Let them help you in-store in downtown Libertyville. Roland's Jewelers is a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
You only want to use the best route to drive across town, so do the same when you need to hire. Indeed provides hiring managers the straightest path to the best new employees. Customized solutions like screener questions and skills tests will help you see beyond the resume. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire.
6:07 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
In Addison this morning, there's a crash on Army Trail at Lombard Road. The inbound Kennedy, we're now seeing delays. Canfield to Harlem. It's about 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. The Edens looks good. Inbound Eisenhower, traffic stop and go Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue. 39 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Mount Stevenson delays start around Harlem. 40 minutes, 355 for Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan with scattered delays. It's 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, ID to the Merge Bishop, 425. Tri-State traffic moves well. There is some road work to the north. Northbound from Lake Cook, 22, and southbound 22 to Sandra. The other tollways are okay. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly to mostly sunny, much colder today. High 25. Currently 18 degrees. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Find holiday gift ideas for you and the family at the leading indoor shooting range, Shoot Point Blank. Check out great savings on ammo, accessories, firearms, and more. Not sure what to get? Shoot Point Blank offers gift cards too. See shootpointblank.com for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Boy, who would have thought that 5 hours of back and forth between lawyers and politicians and try to distinguish the two would not get us anywhere except to check another box to get to the denouement here in a movie that's about as predictable as something Liam Neeson would make.
Exactly.
Which is articles of impeachment, at least 2 of them, may be ready as soon as this morning. Hot off the presses.
Well, yeah, they're going to have a press conference at 9 a.m., which is 8 o'clock our time. Announce 2 articles of impeachment.
All right.
Maybe more.
One will be abuse of power related to Trump, quote-unquote, pressuring Ukraine to investigate a political rival. Second,
obstruction of Congress.
Obstruction regarding his move to block aides from participating in the impeachment investigation.
Well,
Remember,
that's really flimsy.
Yeah, if you mount a defense, that is de facto obstruction. That's what Adam Schiff said at the outset of this. So he's, man of his word. And then there's a third article of obstruction that's also being considered, according to one aide, as reported by the Wall Street Journal.
What has to do with the Mueller report? I mean,
so
is that the one they're debating?
So we'll look forward to the articles of impeachment, and then they'll probably vote them through, and then they'll move over, and the new year, after you've had time to relax and enjoy yourself, unwind from the last several months of impeachment theater, you can pick it back up again after the first of the year in 2020. Won't that be fun?
Well, yesterday highlighted a bitter partisan divide. I mean, and Jerry Nadler, honestly.
The evidence shows that Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, has put himself before his country.
Wow, that's
We'll now hear presentations of evidence.
Mr. Chairman,
Gentlemen, is not recognized. We'll now hear presentations of evidence.
I have a parliamentary inquiry. I haven't removed my objection yet.
Is this?
It was it was just a bit of a headache.
Well, you have to explain the second back and forth. So that's Jerry Nadler and a bunch of House Republicans objecting to the counsel that Nadler retained, Barry Burke, acting as both a witness first and then an inquisitor second. Nadler ceding his time to Burke to come from the witness stand to the chairman's chair to then ask questions of Republican counsel Steve Castor. It was a remarkable moment.
Yeah, musical chairs, and then he was in housekeeping after that.
So you had Republicans, Louis Gohmert, Texas, Mike Johnson, Louisiana, Andy Biggs, Arizona, all tried to make this point, and the hilarity ensued.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, sir,
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
The gentleman is not recognized for parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Chairman, what is
The gentleman is not recognized. The gentleman, Mr. Burke, has the time.
We're going to ignore the rules.
We are
and
not-
allow witnesses to ask the questions. Then
Gentlemen will
how many
suspend.
other rules are you just going to disregard?
Gentlemen will suspend. Parliamentary inquiries are not in order at this time.
Well, how about a point of order? This is not appropriate to have a witness
have a point of
be a
order.
questioner
I have a point
of
of order, Mr.
somebody that was a witness when he was.
The gentleman will suspend.
It's just wrong.
Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen will refrain from making...
inquiry.
There's no gentleman here.
Well, I made a point of order, and you won't rule on it.
I have not heard a point of order. If the gentleman has a stated point...
Mr. Chairman, point of
gentleman
order.
has a point of order. He'll state your point of order.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
There is
Don't you
no
love Robert's
rule
Rules of
nor
Order?
precedent for anybody being a witness and then getting
is
to
not
come
a
up
point of
and
order.
question. And so
I have ruled
we
that-
would.
that
The
is
point
not-
of order is he's inappropriate to be up here asking
That
questions.
is not a point of order. He's here in accordance with Rule 66. With
How much money do you have to give to get to do that?
Oh, how dare you,
Gentlemen
sir.
will not cast aspersions.
No.
on
Oh,
members
no,
of
just
the
not in this
committee.
house. Not in my house.
Chairman.
It was a legitimate order.
Mr. Burke has the time.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
I could listen to this all day. In fact, I did.
Mr. Burke has the time.
I lasted
Mr.
about-
Chairman, I have a legitimate
Mr. Burke
point of order.
Mr. Burke
You
has
got to
the
recognize the
time.
point of order,
recognize
Chairman.
point of order.
Point of order. The gentleman will state a point of order.
Gavel's exhausted.
This gentleman is presenting his opinions as a witness. He's supposed to present the material
Gentleman will
facts in
state
the
a point of
report,
order.
not to appear for his opinions. Is that right or not?
It's not a point of order.
The gentleman, that is not a point of order.
No.
It is Mr. Burke's time pursuant to
It's
Rule
inappropriate
66.
testimony to the committee.
All right, Mike Johnson fail. Let's tee up Andy Biggs, see if we can get a point of order responded to.
660.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman will state a point of
Just
order.
to help
Yeah.
you, that's not in
my
Rule
point-
660.
Yeah, sure.
The gentleman will state a point of order if he has one.
Yes, the point of order is this. We operate by rules. If there's nothing specifically in the rule permitting this, we go by precedent. It is unprecedented for a person to come and sit, who you've described as a witness, to then return to the bench and begin
The gentleman
questioning.
has stated-
That is a point of order.
The gentleman has stated.
Not a point of order. Is that a point of order?
not a
No,
point
no,
of
no.
order.
Harum. That's not a point of order. Mr. Chairman, a point of order. Please recognize the point of order. Is your inseam longer or shorter than Dorf on Golf's?
I mean, didn't he look like straight out of Central Casting from the Munchkins?
And then it continued.
We must do something about this immediately! Immediately! I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Give the governor a harumph. Harumph! You watch your ass.
Yeah. All right.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
What did you learn from yesterday's closing arguments other than Republican counsel Steve Castor stopped at Whole Foods before
He has a reusable bag. Wasn't that great? And everybody pointed that out. It's green. And yeah.
That was a nice little piece of theater by him. I haven't seen theater like that since Steve KNFC Cohen brought a bucket of wings to a hearing.
Exactly. But what was in the bag? Huh?
These guys are fun. Huh?
You sure it's organic? What's in there?
You having fun with this? Matt Gaetz had a fun interchange with Daniel Goldman, another counsel for the Democrats, about his tweets prior to his position as a counselor here in this proceeding. And I'll tell you what, Gaetz did a good job here because Goldman, they kept trying to present as some sort of, nonpartisan prosecutor, professional prosecutor who doesn't have an axe to grind. And Gates put on a little poster board. He got posterized, much like Al Green did. He got posterized, Daniel Goldman, a tweet responding to President Trump back in August of 2018. Trump talking about the Mueller report. Why aren't Mueller and the 17 angry Democrats looking at meetings concerning the fake dossier? This is the one-sided witch hunt in the history of our country. The facts are all coming out and fast. And then Daniel Goldman responded to the president's tweet, August 2018. What lying? Nothing in the dossier has proved to be false, including your P-tape. But we can agree that we all look forward to the facts coming out. Everything has come out so far has shown you to be an out-and-out liar. That's Daniel Goldman, who's the nonpartisan professional prosecutor with no axe to grind in this proceeding.
Mr. Castro, have you ever tweeted anything at the president? No. Mr. Goldman, same question.
I have made a number of tweets in my private capacity before I came to this job when I was working in the media, yes.
As a matter of fact, this is one of those tweets, right? And you said, nothing in the dossier is proven false. But in fact, the dossier said that there was a Russian consulate in Miami when there isn't. The dossier said that Michael Cohen had a meeting in Prague when he didn't. The dossier said that Michael Cohen's wife was Russian. She's in fact Ukrainian. And so as we sit here today, where you've, I guess, got a tweet mentioning a P-tape, presenting yourself not as a partisan, hired by the Democrats to pursue the president, do you regret this tweet?
Sir, I would be happy to put this investigation up with any of the nonpartisan investigations.
I just want to know if you regret the tweet, Mr. Goldman.
During my 10 years as a federal prosecutor.
Do you regret it?
I hope you read the evidence, and I think you can judge.
You either regret it or you don't regret it, Mr. Goldman. I guess you don't want to answer the question.
I guess you don't. Here's something else, counselor. Slimeball. Goldman. Is that the standard you use? As a federal prosecutor? Assuming facts on it evidence? Does the accused have the benefit of the doubt? Is it the prosecution's job to prove beyond reasonable doubt? Or is it President Trump's job to prove that the contentions in the dossier are untrue? Nothing in the dossier has proved to be false. Has proved to be false. That's the new standard, is it? A new evidentiary standard? It's probably not the one you used as a professional prosecutor in those other nonpartisan investigations you referenced, is it, Mr. Goldman? So you start out as a partisan hack. You come to the table as a partisan hack. You'll understand if people suggest, boy, maybe this is somebody who long ago, like at least August of 2018, drew a conclusion. And now, like so many of his fellow partisan hacks who are actually office holders in this proceeding, he's working backwards to try to cobble together a theory in the political arena that could substantiate a conclusion, fact-free, that he drew long ago. That was a moment for Gates exposing Goldman. Steve and Roselle.
Yeah, I'd like to know why there are two articles of impeachment. Is it just so they can have one to give cover to Democrats in swing districts where they can say, I voted for one but not the other?
No, it's, I mean, you want to put
there's 31 Democrats in Trump districts.
Think about it like an indictment. You want to include as many credible charges you believe you can prove as possible. I mean, think about it at the state level. The Blagojevich impeachment, everybody remembers the prosecution. Remember, he was impeached and removed from office.
Right.
13 count impeachment. 13 articles of impeachment were lodged against Rod Blagojevich. So it wasn't just the Senate seat. It wasn't just shaking down Children's Hospital. There were others. And so this is, a kitchen sink. You throw in lesser included charges as long as they're colorable and you think you have some basis to make them. And because you want to make it appear as substantial as possible. And the fact that they're scraping to get from 2 to 3 tells you something about how substantive their case really is. Thanks
and Democrats had a closed-door meeting last night to discuss it. Ooh.
Bill on the Northwest side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. My takeaway from the impeachment hearings is that I believe that conservatives, even at the grassroots level, people like your listeners, need to become adept at draining the swamp and follow President Trump's example, because these people are running a farce con game that would never in a million years be tolerated against President Obama. There'd be protesters in the street like there were all the whack jobs protesting Christine Ford's cabinet hearings. But when they do it, it's perfectly okay, and the media is supporting it for some godly unknown reason. And people, as Republicans, the party has to fight back. Shows like your show and even people at the grassroots level have to become adept at challenging these people because they are totally insane.
Well,
Thank
the
you for
media,
taking my call.
yeah. And the media loves this because President Trump has gone after them and has questioned their credibility, and they don't like that. And that's why they're, grinning from ear to ear right now. They think this is great. I mean, this morning on CNN, it was just, we have arrived. This is a wonderful day.
Precedent setting of this is really interesting. And the media, they don't have very good survival instincts. John Solomon has a good op-ed in the Wall Street Journal about Schiff threatening press freedom. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's remarkable. The FBI's Domestic Investigations and Operations Guide has long recognized journalists, clergy, and lawyers deserve special protections because of the constitutional implications of investigating their work. Right. Judges and members of Congress also fall into a special FBI category because of the Constitution's separation of powers. Special rules for them because of the nature of their work and their work with the public, and in some cases representing the public. So Adam Schiff apparently doesn't see things that way, and neither do his apologists. Secretly authorizing subpoenas to AT&T for the phone records of Trump's personal attorney and an associate, then arbitrarily extracting information about certain private calls and making them public, essentially doxing these individuals.
Can you imagine if the Republicans did that to Democrats?
Yeah, if it was.
I mean, if it was on the other shoe.
If it was a Republican doing it to, say, I don't know, pick your journalist du jour. If it was a Republican doing it to say
Don Lemon.
Well, he's not a journalist. He's not even a talk show host.
All right.
Think about. I don't know.
You have 3 hours.
Chuck Todd.
Oh.
He's not a journalist either.
No,
but I mean, who is
back.
these days? Dave Remnick over at the New Yorker. If it was a Republican president doing it to Dave Remnick as opposed to, or a Republican committee chairman, House Intelligence Committee chairman doing it to Remnick as opposed to Schiff doing it to John Solomon, what do you think the left would say? What should they say? What should both sides say in both cases? Dan in Libertyville.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I think the Democrats have no idea how badly they're burying themselves. I meet with people every day as customers in my business, and I'm seeing people that are elderly, World War II veterans' widows, people that lost sons in Vietnam, and they are so mad. This one lady said she wanted to chase that Radner with a pitchfork. This is a woman that's 80 years old. Very kindly, nice old person, but she is pissed.
Thanks for the call, Dan. You know, something funny about this. I was just looking at Real Clear Politics yesterday.
Yeah.
So this is a president who's likely about to be impeached by the House of Representatives. You know what President Trump's approval rating is right now as compared to what President Obama's was at this time in his presidency, in his first term?
What?
The same.
Exactly the same?
Basically the same, within the margin of error, within a few tenths of a point. So, yeah, I think Dan from Libertyville is onto something. The Democrats are doing President Trump and Republicans a favor. Frank in Arlington Heights.
Hey, hello, Dan and Amy. The big question, I guess, with this is, the Democrats look so stupid with this impeachment. They're cheapening impeachment. I mean, it's clear that the Republicans should be the majority party and run the House. The question is whether in the coming election, whether, like in the words of Josh Hawley, the Republicans are going to become a working class party and have the brains to be able to run that kind of campaign and not be so beholden to what I call the laissez-faire cult. Can they become a majority party and use this impeachment proceeding, this sham, to be able to do that and be able to run the country throughout the 2020s under President Trump and a Republican Congress, but not be so beholden to the free trade crowd and other people? That's not what the American people want.
All right, thanks for the call, Frank. You may be right about the public opinion on the topic. But it's funny, I've got a 60 seconds of sanity commentary on that very topic. So you want to stay tuned for that. Thanks, Frank.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Gentlemen, if you've been feeling tired, grumpy, sluggish all the time, you could have low testosterone levels, or it could even be sleep apnea. Millions of men not only suffer from low T, but also undiagnosed sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a common and serious health condition. It's where you actually stop breathing throughout the night while you sleep and can last up to 10 seconds per interruption. Low T Center provides a complete health assessment to get all your levels checked and now offers a home sleep apnea test to take that you can take in the comfort of your own bed instead of a lab or uncomfortable hospital. During December, it's only $49 to take their home sleep test to determine whether or not you have sleep apnea. So if you think this might be you, go to Low T Center and get it checked now for just $49. It's even covered by most health insurance. And my friends at Low T Center will verify insurance for you, make it fast and easy. So call today to schedule your appointment and tell them Dan Proft sent you. When you do, we had actually a couple of people call the station yesterday looking for this number, so listen up. 630-451-9352 is Low T's number. That's 630-451-9352. You can also schedule online by visiting lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
You love listening to AM 560 The Answer. How would you like to work for us? If you have experience in sales, we'd love to talk to you. You already understand our mission and what we do, so now maybe you'd like to join our team. If you have sales experience, and specifically if you understand digital marketing, we might have a job for you. If you love us, come join us. It could be a life-changing opportunity for you. For more information, just go to the Careers tab at salemmedia.com.
Holidays are here, and it's time to take care of yourself. It's official. Yeah, as you know, the Christmas season is here, and you won't be eating very healthy for the rest of 2019. All those holiday parties, and you know you're not getting enough fruits and veggies in your diet. So stay healthy this Christmas season and start the new year on the right foot. Do what we started doing here at AM 560, and that's take Balance of Nature. With just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. You hear stories right here on the station how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature. And guess what? The next story could be yours, but you've got to order Balance of Nature today. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And you'll receive an additional 25% off your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so do not wait. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, coming up first is this Walmart sweater in Canada. Did you see this?
Let me see.
The sweater is advertised as men's Let It Snow ugly Christmas sweater.
Yeah, because that's a big deal. People go to those ugly Christmas sweater parties.
Yeah.
And then we have that 12 bars of Christmas coming up this Saturday.
Well, that's been pulled because
Why?
The sweater depicts jolly old St. Nick sitting on a couch in front of a table with 3 white lines.
Oh,
the product description says it captures that moment when Santa is finally ready to enjoy that sweet imported snow.
I saw that too. I saw
The Canadian,
what were they thinking?
The website portrayed Santa Claus as a fan of, quote, grade A Colombian snow.
Yeah.
I mean, he does look happy, but not for the kiddies. Probably not fun for family time with the kids around. So, yeah, the Walmart Canada has pulled that sweater amid backlash.
Now, as I was saying, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Han. And it's true, and sweaters that portray drugs.
Yes.
Bad, too.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, we're going to return to that IG report and Diogenes' response to it, claiming that it vindicates everything that he said and did as FBI director. 6:36.
And that banana duct taped to the wall got the private jet treatment. I mean, this is ridiculous. But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
6:32 on AM 560. It is 20 degrees outside with the gusty winds. We're watching two developing stories this morning. One in the Czech Republic, where 6 have been killed and 3 others wounded after a shooting at a hospital in the city of Ostrava. Meantime, Chilean Air Force officials say a C-130 Hercules transport aircraft that took off early this morning has gone missing. Those missing include 17 crew and 21 passengers. They were on their way to provide logistical support to a military base on Antarctica's King George Island. House Democrats are poised to unveil 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump abused the power of his office, the American presidency, for his political and personal benefit.
Democrats are expected to put forward 1 charge, according to sources, against the president of abuse of power and another of obstruction of Congress. Republican Ken Buck defended the president's decisions to tell top officials to ignore subpoenas.
It's called executive privilege. He can meet with the Secretary of State, and that's a privileged conversation. He can meet with the Secretary of Defense. That's a privileged conversation. He can meet with the Secretary of Energy. That's a privileged conversation.
Democrat leaders preparing articles of impeachment are expected to announce next steps this morning. America's small business owners feeling very good about the future. Today's Small Business Optimism Report for November shows the biggest month-over-month gain in 6 months. FBI Director Christopher Wray says he'll accept the findings. The Justice Department Inspector General's report on the origins of the investigation into Russian election meddling. However, he also pointed out that some improper actions detailed in the report are unacceptable and need to be addressed. The CDC is looking into an outbreak of E. coli infections linked to bagged salads. The agency advising not to eat or sell Fresh Express, sunflower, crisp, chopped salad kits. The salads start with lot code Z and have a best before date up to and including December 7. More testing is needed to determine how a Chicago hip-hop artist, Juice WRLD, also known as Jared Higgins, died. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx is getting a prime spot in the March 2020 primary election ballot. Foxx will appear first on that ballot after a lottery yesterday. Raptors over the Bulls, 93-92. Andrew Shaw out of the Blackhawks lineups for the near future. He's been placed on long-term IR with a concussion. The news service of Prestone Antifreeze. With colder temperatures on the way, keep your car running with Prestone Antifreeze. Only Prestone's superior formula works immediately, protecting your engine from the elements to keep your engine running better. So take on the winter with Prestone today. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Christmas will be here soon, and this year, give the gift of sunshine. Grab your passport to paradise and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Huatuco, Mexico. You'll stay at the Secrets Huatuco Resort and Spa from March 28th through April 4th. It's a beautiful, adults-only, unlimited luxury resort located on Conejos Bay. Give this trip as a gift to a loved one or treat yourself this holiday season. Don't wait to book your passport to paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I am too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I got this bald spot. It's thinning everywhere. I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back, permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs to anyone who texts KEY to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KEY to 85850. That's KEY to 85850.
So, what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of MediShare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other health care plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. MediShare works. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry with 400,000 members. They've shared over $2 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. And with MediShare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And that's a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. 844-51-BIBLE. That's 844-51-BIBLE. 844-51-BIBLE.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
It is 6:38 in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonti.
In Addison, eastbound Army Trail is closed at Lombard Road due to a crash. Northbound Lombard is blocked as well. Edens, 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 31 minutes O'Hare to downtown. No savings to the Express. Outbound 24 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 43 minutes 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Inbound Stevenson, 44 minutes 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes 95 to downtown. I-57, 19 minutes 90 to the merge. Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-State is heavy from the Reagan tollway to pass the Eisenhower. The other tollways look good. No problems to report right now on I-80 or in Northwest Indiana. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly to mostly cloudy today, mostly sunny today, much colder. High 25, moonlit sky, very chilly overnight. A low of 13. Right now, clouds at 18 at O'Hare. Along the lakefront, 20 degrees. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and another cultural touchstone. Peloton, you know, the exercise bike.
Yeah.
Just IPO'd recently, and then its stock tanked almost 10% in one day after this ad that Peloton ran, advertising the bike, that was received poorly by the Marxist minders in our culture.
Yeah, they thought it was abusive that this husband was, or not husband, or partner, was forcing his wife to work out every day. She was skinny before. She was skinny after a year of documenting her use on the Peloton.
So he gets her a Peloton bike for Christmas. That's the premise of the ad.
Now, a Peloton? Give it up for our first time ride.
All right, first ride. I'm a little nervous, but excited. Let's do this. 5 days in a row. You surprised? I am. 6 a.m. Yay.
Rising with the sun.
That was totally worth it.
Let's go, Grace in Boston. 50 rides.
She just said my name. A year ago, I didn't realize how much this would change me. Thank you.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Yeah, give the gift of Peloton, and this was seen as misogynistic, judgmental.
No, they even said abusive, that he's abusing his wife.
Yeah, it's patriarchal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. She was a beautiful woman before. She didn't need to have a Peloton bike and then spend a year making herself look even better for her husband. That's disgusting. Is it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. How many men out there are springing the $2,000 for the Peloton bike for the wife or girlfriend this Christmas season?
Spoiler alert.
Or vice versa.
Or, yeah, because I have a friend who bought her husband a Peloton, and he still hasn't gotten it, and it's been a year.
No, it's nice.
And you bought one for us, right?
Nice place to,
for me?
put a coat or something, hang a coat.
Right. Well, we're going to bring one in the studio.
Or you can sit there and just watch other people work out. Maybe have a bite to eat.
Strap in and watch other people.
Yeah.
Hey, we should
Have
get
a drink.
We should get JB Pritzker one.
I think you're going to have a steel reinforced Peloton if you want to put Governor Jelly Belly on a little bike like that. Not to mention, you're going to have some sort of ballasts on either side to even him out to prevent a fall. I mean, he's very fragile. He's like Samuel Jackson in Breakable or whatever that M. Night Shyamalan movie was. And that guy falls down, every bone in his body cracks up. So speaking of having a drink while you're watching people work out, the latest salvo in this viral debate is Ryan Reynolds' Aviation Gin hiring the same actress
awesome.
to do a spot for his company. Because I think it was well intended by Ryan Reynolds because he's like, she's facing backlash. She's being used by the patriarchy. This actress, whose name is Ruiz, I don't remember her first name, but regardless. And so he wanted to hire her to have to troll the Peloton ad a little bit, have a little bit of fun with it. So
have a drink, relax. You got off your bike.
So this is her out with two girlfriends having gin martinis and, implicitly reflecting on the Peloton ad.
This gin is really smooth. Yeah. We can get you another one if you'd like. You're safe here.
Oh my gosh.
To new beginnings. To new beginnings. There you go. This can be a fun night. There you go.
She guzzles one, then she gets the friends. She keeps guzzling because she's got this
You look
emotionally
great, by the way.
abusive husband at home.
You look great, by the way. I love how they threw that in there.
Jack and LaPorte, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Great show. Peloton's response was keeping it tighter than the babysitter.
Oh.
Thanks for the call,
Excuse
Jack.
me, I didn't see that coming. Did
No, no, I did not see that coming. I wish I would have. Peloton's response, its CEO, John Foley, has been no response. No response. He, during a 40-minute appearance at Midtown Manhattan conference hosted by UBS, Foley discussed profitability, international expansion, but he would not talk about the ad. Yeah. So he's trying to dance around the controversy. You can understand why his stock took a hit, and so he's acting in the interest of shareholders, no matter how silly it is. We need to communicate better that the sort of value proposition of Peloton and what we're trying to do and the appeal that we're trying to make. Of course, the idea is people getting in shape. Monica Ruiz is the name of the actress, by the way.
And her husband, they're calling him the Peloton husband. He's an elementary school teacher in Vancouver. He says he's talked to Monica a few times because he can't believe the social media uproar and controversy over. He said it was fun. We made the commercial. It was fun. Some side money for him, and now he's getting ridiculed on social media.
Well, sure, he's a barbarian because of the way he treated his fictional wife in a television ad. That's got to be who he actually is, right?
Yeah, I mean, leave him alone. Honestly, these barbarians on the left who are they're making his life hell. He's a freaking school teacher, folks. Leave him alone.
If you don't like,
that wasn't the
if
premise
you don't
of the
like
commercial.
the character an actor or actress plays, then that actor or actress should be imprisoned, ridiculed, exiled, canceled.
He said they had a lovely time making the commercial. The premise of it was, she was nervous getting on the bike because a lot of people are nervous. You take people to spin classes. Yeah, they're nervous the first few times because if you haven't done it, it's pretty scary. I mean, the first time you did flywheel, weren't you a little scared? And did you document it on Instagram?
I'm not.
Like, hi, I'm Dan. This is my first flywheel.
I'm not afraid of stationary bikes, no.
Well, some people are, though, because it's, taking them out of their comfort zone. Really. That's why a lot of people don't work out. So that she just documented that. And, a year later, she's the same size that she was the year before.
So let me ask this question. The Lexus commercial where you have, you take the wife outside and you got a big bow on a new Lexus in the driveway, and that's Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever.
Or they take their kids in the car to where the snow-filled hills are for Christmas, and it's just...
Well, I haven't asked my question yet. What does that have to do with the Lexus ad?
Because it's so stupid. This false, everything's perfect in life, and you're going to get a car with a big bow on it, and you're going to...
No, the question is that's not the situation at bar here. The situation at bar is this is sexist.
Right.
So is husband buying a car for his wife? Is that sexist too? She has her own money. She's working. She can buy her own stuff. She can buy him a car. You buy him a car. I don't need you to have a car, right? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Right. Well, they have a commercial out this year where the wife actually buys the dad the car.
What about diamonds? What about all the jewelry commercials that are geared towards women? I buy my own diamonds, buy my own rings, buy my own pendants, buy my own earrings. I don't need a man to buy me that stuff.
I'm going to buy my own engagement ring and give it to him to give to me.
I'll tell you, hey, great. No problem. Guys out there who were thinking about, saving 3 months of your salary to buy an engagement ring or thinking about splurging for Christmas, no need. No need, lest you be cast, down into Hades with the dude who played the Peloton husband. She can do it all herself, right? Isn't that what the ladies want? They don't want baubles. They don't want presents. They don't want to be told they're attractive. They don't want to be attractive.
They don't want the door
fit.
being held open for them.
No. Needed any of that. I don't need a man for any of that. Cindy and Joliet.
Good morning, Dan. Hi, Amy. So, Dan and Amy, the simple answer here is everything that's fake is real. Everything that's real is fake. And that's why this Peloton commercial is so important. Because it's real. They're not fake husband and wife. They're real.
That's right.
And she's really fat. She's really fat and needs to work out.
Well, in addition to that, thanks for the call, Cindy. In addition to the fact that they're real husband and wife, they have to be held to account for their performances in that 30-second ad and whether or not their performances conform to acceptable Marxist content standards.
I can't wait to see what ad the Peloton husband ends up in, because they've, I want to see where he lands.
Probably a gulag. Jack and LaPorte.
Hey, it's me again.
Hey, you again.
So, yeah.
Keep it clean, Jack.
Got $1 million of them. Hey, when a guy buys a woman a bunch of diamonds, isn't he going to want like something in return, kind of like quid pro quo?
Yeah, he's going to want Biden investigated. That's right. Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, yeah, when I saw that commercial, hey, how you guys doing for starters?
Hey, we're doing great. How you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're my guy.
When I saw the commercial, I was under the impression they were just advertising a product they wanted to sell and trying to get people fit. Man, I was way off.
Yeah, you totally missed the subtext, Rick. Thanks for the call. It's not about an exercise bike.
What?
It's about the patriarchy.
Right.
And it's about unrealistic standards for women, and it's about body shaming, and it's about, women are only sex objects, and it's about all of those things we're supposed to be upset about.
And if you have a Peloton, you both ride the Peloton. It's not reserved for the wife.
You don't.
That's where they messed up.
You don't have to. Yeah, you know what? 2-seater, but the women gets the front seat.
That's right. A tandem Peloton. That's brilliant, Dan.
Monica and Lyle.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a sidecar. The husband can be in the sidecar. All right, Monica, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. The commercial actually inspired us to get my husband and I a Peloton bike. Both of us work, and my husband works from home, so it's a great idea for him. And for me, since I'm got a new job and working full time, I can't go to the gym, so I need somewhere to go. So I thought it was a great idea. And who'd have thought a woman skinny when she got on the bike and a year later still skinny? What does that tell you? Exercising helps you lose weight. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Monica.
Have you ever done the Peloton?
No,
I tried it once. It's awesome.
I was thinking about
And
getting
it's
it, but
cool.
I think I need I need to do flywheel because I need to go somewhere. I can't just motivate myself in my house.
I thought that too, but I tried the Peloton 3 days in a row, and by the third day, you can do it live, and they have a DJ in the back with the instructor. Those live classes are cool, and they do call out your name sometimes, and that's fun.
Oh,
and they're like,
boy.
hey, we see Janie's joining us from Chicago. Big shout out to her.
Oh yeah, the psychic reward of that is
but it's
incalculable.
Fun. They're great instructors. I'm just saying it's fun. You should try it.
No, and I don't
No,
want to.
I'm not trying.
I don't
No.
want to meet people from all over the world. I don't even like the people in the class that when I go to flywheel. Just leave me alone.
Have you tried Soul Cycle
and
yet?
don't call out my name. Just
Have you
look
tried
at
Soul
just
Cycle?
look at my score, and I get off the bike, and very humbly walk out as the
you're the top
normally
guy.
the high score when I'm doing it consistently. These younger guys,
Yeah, with the man buns.
please. Well, they're because we're younger guys now because as we talked about yesterday, so many women are on the pill now. And they're attracted to guys that look like chicks. So I mean, I kill them. Yeah.
You got to try Soul Cycle.
There's actually some of the women. The women actually are more competition.
I know.
Because they're so religious about flywheel more than the men are. I think. I don't know if is that female chauvinism that I just.
Dan. Sucked right into it, don't you?
Chris in Evanston.
Guys, I just want to say, first of all, thank you in this season of Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. Thank you for everything you guys have done and do every morning. That you actually show up, Dan, and not give us Bruce Wolf. Number two, like all of these incredible cultural Marxist categories, step one is to eliminate the agency of the individual. So this lady in this ad could return the thing for $3,800 or who knows, $4,500 and put that on her credit card. But she chooses to do it. And this to the cultural Marxists, of course, means nothing. Actually, they're hoping to extinguish her agency because their entire program, as you guys know, from Hegel on down, is to subsume yourself to this mythical dialectic, and therefore the predetermined conclusion of the cultural Marxists. So they just eliminate choices and use these people as cartoon characters.
Yeah.
But apart from that, thank you for everything.
Thanks for the call. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, right? She's in the commercial. She's excited to get. I mean, I know women that have the Peloton bike. They bought it for themselves, but I'm sure they would have been happy to have somebody buy it for them. They wanted the bike. Is it okay to want an exercise bike for the convenience of exercising in your own home? Or if your mom or like Monica from Lyle said, we're busy, new job. Both of us are busy, so this is a way where we can exercise. And I want to exercise. I want to stay fit, not just because it looks good, but because it's a healthier alternative. And so now I have to submit to these Jabba the Hutt second wave feminists who are angry about not looking like Monica Ruiz or whatever her name was in the
Monica
commercial.
Ruiz.
Yeah. I mean, of course it's ridiculous. Carl on the south side.
Good morning. These good liberal women wake up every day and they're upset because they know they're never going to have a man that would purchase them a lovely gift like that. They wake up going, how shall I be offended today? That is the liberal mantra when they wake up every morning. What can I be offended about today?
That's right. There's no safe space with a Peloton around. Thanks, Carl. A friend of mine, guy friend, just texted, you can use my Peloton anytime it's in mint condition. I bet it is.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Fed to announce interest rates will remain low. General Motors loaning $40 million to an Ohio startup, and Volkswagen violated emission standards in Canada. Those stories are next.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Gift giving occurs year-round, whether for birthdays, holidays, or a special expression of thanks to your best clients and customers. Of course, you want to show your love and gratitude, but you also want to give a gift that provides a positive image of you and your organization. Solaire infrared grills from besthotgrill.com are both practical and unforgettable. Made in the USA, Solaire has a grill for most budgets, but more importantly, Solaire delivers the wow that everybody likes to receive in a gift. Impressive out of the box, and even more so in use, the Solaire infrared grills are the gift of value that will build relationships. With every great tasting, juicy meal enjoyed from their Solaire, they'll think of you. Step up your gift giving. Learn more about the amazing Solaire infrared grills at besthotgrill.com. That's besthotgrill.com, besthotgrill.com.
GM loaning $40 million to a startup company formed to make electric pickup trucks at a massive plant that GM shut down earlier this year in Lordstown, Ohio. Lordstown Motors takes over the former Chevrolet Cruze plant. Even with GM's loan, that startup says it will need more investor money before it can start production. The Federal Reserve expected to announce that interest rates will remain low for the foreseeable future. Canada says Volkswagen broke environmental standards by importing 128,000 vehicles that didn't conform to Canadian emission standards. Canada says the models contain so-called defeat devices that mask the actual emissions of Volkswagens. A court hearing is scheduled for Friday. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Limu, when we're not telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, I've actually been moonlighting as a DJ. Check it! Here's the good part! Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Hey, my friend's company spent 3 days cleaning up an email phishing attack that targeted several dozen employees.
Yeah, if just one malicious email slips through, an attack can spread quickly and do serious damage.
What if that happens to us?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda Forensics and Incident Response.
So we're good?
Yes, with fast automated response and remediation, all traces of the attack can be removed in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a relief.
Protect your business at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
AM 560, The Answer.
That Peloton husband in that ad we were discussing.
Yeah.
The only way he gets work again is if he does a manstraightening ad for some tampon.
Oh,
That's the only way he's going to get work in show business again.
coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Lieutenant Colonel Ollie North joins us. We're going to talk about a number of things, including impeachment, as well as his new book, The Rifleman. That's at 7:07.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Chicagoans weighing in on the search for the next top cop. CPS is recommending the closure of 2 charter schools. We'll tell you which ones. Drew Peterson has been moved to another prison. We'll tell you where. Bears' Roquan Smith is done for the season with a pectoral injury. Raptors edge the Bulls. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Sheer political madness. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump just tweeted about impeachment, again insisting he's done nothing wrong. House Democrats next hour plan to unveil 2 articles, abuse of power and obstruction of justice. Jerry Nadler, chair of the Judiciary Committee, says the president violated his oath of office, initially withholding military aid to Ukraine while asking for an investigation into Joe Biden and son.
And constitutes a continuing threat to the integrity of our elections and to our democratic system of government. Such conduct is clearly impeachable.
That was after a contentious hearing with a lot of arguing. Doug Collins, the lead Republican on the committee.
They can't get over the fact Donald Trump is president of the United States, and they don't have a candidate that they think can beat him.
Now, the president also tweeted the FBI is badly broken after the Justice Department's Inspector General report found 17 significant errors in applications for surveillance on a Trump campaign associate. But Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer touted the IG's other key finding.
The predicate for the FBI's investigation was valid and without political bias.
One of the badly burned victims from Monday's volcano eruption in New Zealand has died. 5 others were killed. Another 8 people are missing and presumed dead. 30 more were injured. Fox's Simon Owen has the latest live.
Dave, a paramedic who flew to the island where this happened, describing what he calls a shocking experience.
Everything was just blanketed in ash.
Russell Clark was in one of 4 helicopter crews making the journey to rescue tourists.
I can only imagine what it was like for the people that were there at the time. They had nowhere to go. And an absolutely terrible experience for them.
New Zealand's Prime Minister saying those injured or missing come from a host of countries, including the US and Australia. Police don't expect to find any more survivors. Dave?
Simon, a man in the Czech Republic went on a shooting spree in a hospital waiting room this morning, killing 6 people at close range, wounding 3 more in Ostrava. He drove away, then killed himself when police closed in. America's listening to Fox News.
Clouds at 18 degrees. It is 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A week after ex-police superintendent Eddie Johnson was fired by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, the first in a series of meetings was held asking the public who should be next. Members of the police board met with the public at the Trinity United Church of Christ last night.
A reformist who is willing to shake up the system.
2 more public meetings are scheduled this week on the 11th and 12th. Chicago Public Schools recommending the closure of 2 underperforming charter schools. School district announcing yesterday that Fraser Prep and Chicago Virtual Charter Schools should be shut down. No one is in custody after a woman was robbed by a man who tried to force her into an alley near the UIC campus. Police say the college student was on the sidewalk yesterday in the 1400 block of West Flournoy when a man grabbed her and attempted to drag her into an alley. The attacker took property from the woman, but she was able to escape. Authorities say 2 men died after shooting one another in Chicago as one of them was taking his son to school. Police say a 31-year-old man was shot several times Monday morning in the city's south side, walking with his son, who was unhurt and ran to get help. The man returned fire, striking the 24-year-old man in both legs. Both were later pronounced dead at nearby hospitals. Chicago sports, Raptors over the Bulls at the UC 93-92. Season over for the Bears. Inside linebacker Roquan Smith with a torn pectoral muscle. College basketball tonight. Notre Dame hosts Detroit. Bradley hosts Maryville. The news service of Staples. Ship all your gifts and packages at your local Staples store and save 15% on UPS shipping services 7 days a week. Plus, get all the supplies you need like boxes, tape, and bubble roll. Staples, there's a whole lot in store this holiday. In store only. Offer ends 12/28/19. See store for details. Staples. 7:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is waiting for the other shoe to drop.
See, here's the thing about an impeachment. Both sides have to testify. Here's the thing about actually stupidly going forward trying to impeach the 45th president of the United States. The Democrats are going to have to speak under oath. And a lot of people who have been anti-Trump are going to have to be held to account.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Built for the Holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours just don't magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs and trucks. You don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event. Best-in-class payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation. Eligible in select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/2020. See participating dealer for complete details.
You've heard Rumpke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Rumpke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Remke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Remke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Remke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to remkesgarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remkes, REMKES, garage.com.
T-Mobile for Business is leading the 5G charge. We've invested nearly $30 billion in our advanced network designed to drive true workforce mobility. T-Mobile for Business is with you where your office is today. Business is changing. Are you with us? Visit T-MobileForBusiness.com.
7:07 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Talamonte.
About 8 inch traffic is stop and go to Junction. It's 28 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 21 and the eastbound spur is heavy from Waukegan Road to the 8 inch. Inbound Kennedy now 51 minutes. O'Hare to downtown 29 from Montrose. A little heavier in the express. Outbound 32 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower 45 minutes 390 to downtown. 31 from Manheim. Outbound 32 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 17 with a crash at Cermak. I-57, 20 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop 429. Northbound Tri-State delays are 95th to 87th. The Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Reagan Tillway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and Steve Williams.
Today, partly to mostly sunny with a high at 25. It'll be clear and very cold tonight with a low at 13. Partly sunny, cold day tomorrow, the high 25, and then clouds and breezy on Thursday, the high 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
17 at O'Hare, 19 Lakefront, 17 in snow flurries at Midway. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Find holiday gift ideas for you and the family at the leading indoor shooting range, Shoot Point Blank. Check out great savings on ammo, accessories, firearms, and more. Not sure what to get? Shoot Point Blank offers gift cards too. See shootpointblank.com for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump reacting to the DOJ Inspector General report that was released yesterday after he was briefed on the top lines of it.
It's a disgrace what's happened with respect to the things that were done to our country. It should never again happen to another president. It is incredible, far worse than I would have ever thought possible. And it's an embarrassment to our country. It's dishonest. It's everything that a lot of people thought it would be, except far worse. Well, they fabricated evidence and they lied to the courts and they did all sorts of things to have it go their way. And this was something that we can never allow to happen again.
Yeah, 51 violations of violations of procedure, 9 false statements documented by Inspector General Horowitz. That all is being reported and received by Diogenes himself, Jim Comey, who was also the honest man Diogenes was looking for. At least that's the way he's treated by the D.C. press corps.
He's the victim in all this.
Comey feeling fully exonerated and vindicated, just as he felt after the IG report that centered on him that found that he had abrogated his professional responsibilities as FBI director.
It was all made up. 2 years of sitting silently at the FBI while you're lied about. And finally, the truth is out. It was lies. There was no treason. There was no conspiracy. There was no tapping of Trump's wires. There was no putting informants in the campaign. It was all nonsense. And the FBI finally has its day with the American people, and I hope they pay attention to it.
Well, not only that, but Jim Baker wants, an apology from the president. He said the FBI is deserving of that.
The Inspector General says there were, quote, numerous instances in which factual representations in those applications, the FISA applications, were inaccurate, incomplete, or unsupported by appropriate documentation. Oh, that statement and the statement you just heard from Jim Comey are mutually exclusive. So which is it? To help us adjudicate this matter and a number of others, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend, Lieutenant Colonel Ollie North, combat decorated U.S. Marine, #1 best-selling author, former president of the NRA. He's got a new book that we'll get to as well, The Rifleman. I assume that's a biography on Chuck Connors, but we'll ask him. Ollie North, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
I just wish I was as tall as Chuck Connors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could have been drafted by the Celtics. Wasn't he drafted by the
There
Celtics?
you go.
Yeah. So what about the IG's report and put it in the backdrop of the whole impeachment saga?
Well, you just summed it up very well, Dan. Look, I had to go up in New York and then back in Washington twice yesterday. Either ends of the bookends of the day were Fox News on that very issue, and clearly the IG's report points out numerous issues, at least 17, and probably a lot more if you really. I spun through the thing very, very quickly, but the bottom line of it is bad things were done by members of the FBI and by the CIA, particularly Brennan. And you have these two directors of these massively important intelligence organizations and law enforcement organizations, the FBI and the CIA, both of whom commit enormous, egregious offenses against the American people and against individuals, to include a person campaigning to be president, people working in his campaign, and presenting information to FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. That's what FISA stands for. The court, and people are just dragged through the ringer, and no one is held to account. I'm stunned that people are saying what they are, and that Comey's getting away with saying what he is. I think you said they're mutually exclusive. The reality of what's in the report and what St. Jim Comey is putting out, promulgating to people, that it's just not true.
Well, what about?
At some point, I think Durham is probably going to hold some people to account. I hope he is.
Well, CNN saying this morning that President Trump's claim that the FBI was spying on his campaign is false.
Well, that's false. I mean, Amy, what you've got today is a news entity that is totally irresponsible. I mean, and you see it in all of them. I was a U.S. Marine for 22 years. I was a Fox News correspondent, floor correspondent, and documentary filmmaker for almost as long. And excuse me, what we're seeing today is stuff I never thought I'd see in the government of the United States. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act is a really, really important piece of legislation, and it deals with a treaty. It's called the Five Eyes, EYES, Five Eyes Treaty. It was very carefully negotiated. The treaty actually controls what other people can do with that information. And the 5 countries that started this whole process at the end of World War II, because we knew we just didn't have enough antennas in the air to be able to do it all ourselves. That treaty was violated by some of the things that was done by the previous administration. And again, no one is being held to account for Americans being spied on by our own government. That's just plain wrong.
Well, and to your point about U.S. Attorney Durham, as well as Attorney General Barr, they are politely disputing some of the conclusions that the Inspector General made, beginning with that there was a legitimate basis for the investigation, for launching the investigation in the first place. So that suggests that the Durham report may look a little bit different than the IG report. And the other thing, and what's also lost in the media, since you were opining on that topic, is sort of detail and nuance. Horowitz, in his own report, says, look, my job wasn't to make adjudications on the discretionary choices of FBI. It's to say whether they could have done what they did, whether it was technically within their scope to do what they did. What Durham said in response is, well, I get to look outside of the Justice Department, the inner workings of the Justice Department. And when you look at some of the contextual factors outside of the Justice Department, I draw a different conclusion than Horowitz did.
Yeah. And he's correct to say so. And he does have the power and the authority to go out and hold people accountable. And I truly do hope that they do. I understand how people feel about the president. I mean, I'm going to vote for him again. The outcome of all of this was, I think, disappointing to some who thought that the Horowitz report was going to exonerate everybody in the current administration and point the gun at the previous administration, and it fails to do either. I mean, there is going to be an impeachment. There is going to be a trial in the Senate, and the president's not going to be thrown out of office. And I don't have the gift of prophecy, but I predict that he's going to get reelected and that the Republicans are going to take the House. Now, is that retribution sufficient for what crimes were committed against all of us? I don't think so. I think when you start holding people accountable, you start at the top and you work your way down. And Horowitz is starting at the bottom and working his way up.
Well,
and somewhere in between the two of them, Durham and Horowitz are going to meet.
Well, and yeah, right. And speaking of the top, also according to the Horowitz report, this not being reported, it confirms that Comey briefed President Obama about the FBI making or attempting to make a determination whether anybody had worked with Russians in the Russians' efforts to interfere in the 2016 election. Right. Comey said he thought it was important that the president know the nature of the FBI's efforts without providing any specifics. So there again, we still have, by the way, crimes that a particular crime that everybody concedes was committed, which was the unmasking of General Flynn, and nobody seems particularly interested in identifying the party responsible.
Well, again, I point out the way the system is supposed to work, and without giving away stuff that may still be classified, let me put it this way. I was so concerned about what I was doing overseas that I asked for every one of my phones, and we didn't have 15 cell phones in a family like we do nowadays.
Right.
But we had wired phones. I asked and got permission to have the National Security Agency and the FBI monitor every one of my phone calls coming and going. Didn't even tell my wife and kids about it. I did that because I didn't want anybody to ever think that I was out of bounds or working with the bad guys. All right? And it took a whole lot of work to make that happen. And thank God I did, because I ended up getting exonerated because there were something like 400,000 pages of transcripts of phone calls being made on Ollie North's phones. Both his home phone, his office phone, the encrypted telephone that was in my car, and the encrypted telephone that was in our bedroom. And so it's not something that easily happens. You can't just flick a switch in a Class 3 switch and make it all happen. You have to have lots of permissions to do it. And what they did knowingly was to infiltrate a presidential campaign, and they kept it going after he was elected, and probably right up until the point where Comey was bounced out on his ear. Now, if someone asked me, would I want to go into a firefight with Jim Comey and Brennan, I wouldn't trust those guys to tell me that the sun was going to come up in the east today.
Speaking of your time and service to the country, I wanted to get your take on another topic. What, if any, policy changes should the U.S. military be considering when it comes to safety on U.S. military installations after the Pensacola Naval Air Station shooting?
I'll let you commit a little. You can commit news right here. I have a very reliable source, and that's a single source. It's not been backed up by two different sources, but a very reliable source that told me last night that the perpetrator of the attack at the Naval Air Station Pensacola had, since 2012, when he was a teenager, been up on anti-American, radical jihadist websites routinely in his social media, his Twitter account, which was taken down by Twitter almost instantly, had all kinds of that stuff in it. Now, if there were any vetting done at all by our, quote, ally, by ourselves, this kid could not have gotten into the United States, not just as a Saudi pilot in training. He couldn't have gotten in as a tourist.
Yeah.
The vetting that was done was non-existent, and that has got to change immediately. And my hope is that people are paying attention over at the Pentagon, because it's wonderful that we got allies that want to come and get trained here in America. There's thousands of them here all the time. It's a terrific thing, and it does expose people to the kinds of country that we are, and they hopefully take some of that back home with them when they're done with it. Not just the skill set that you get at a flight school, but all the other kinds of schooling that we run through the Pentagon that the American people pay for and sometimes get a little bit of reimbursement. What happened in Pensacola would never have happened had there been adequate vetting. And all it would have taken is you just notify everybody. You're coming here to be trained. I don't care if you're from Norway or Oman. If you're coming to the United States, we're going to monitor your phones. We're going to listen to what you say to people. We're going to check your social media, or you're not coming. It's very simple. And very few of these radical Islamist terrorists who've done this kind of thing repeatedly, I mean, think about it. They predict what they're going to do. They tell other people they're going to do it, and they go up and proudly, I'm going to go out and martyr myself. That's the way this guy is being portrayed in parts of that world right now, even in Saudi Arabia.
Even the fact, too, that he had a viewing party where they watched mass shootings the night before, and no one said anything. No one came forward.
Precisely. Absolutely right, Amy. You think about it. Well, gee, yeah, we went to the dinner party with, had some wonderful awful, and nobody said a boo. What's the old expression we tell our kids? You see something, say something. Nobody said a darn thing. I mean, it's not our fault that this guy became a radical Islamist. He was obviously that way before he got here. He obviously continued to stay that way. It's our fault that we didn't pay more attention. That's my complaint. I mean, I think that what has to change at the senior levels of the U.S. military, and I'm talking about Secretary Espy, has got to change the process that says, we're telling you if you're coming here to study or to go to school or to benefit from our training, then you are going to be monitored closely. And we may have to look a little more closely at those guys than the Norwegians that come. That sounds like profiling. I know. God help me.
Well, yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes you need to profile.
Or as you said, just institute a protocol that has full coverage and everybody gets treated equally, equal vetting. Well, before we let you go, of course, wanted to give you an opportunity to profile your new book and bestseller, The Rifleman. And this harkens back to Revolutionary War heroes that perhaps people don't know a lot about.
Yeah. This all came from an interview that I did. Our nation's capital is in the midst of seemingly intractable, destructive disarray. Opponents of our commander-in-chief have launched intrigues in Congress to remove him from his post. Spies, traitors, and terrorists abound, threatening the lives of those serving in our military. And in the midst of an undeclared war, the issue of whether women should be allowed in the combat zone has become a contentious issue. Sounds a lot like today. That's 1775.
Wow.
Okay.
Nothing new in this world, just the history we don't know. Yeah.
Groundhog Day, deja vu all over again. Yeah. So, and this is a book about real American heroes. I spent my life with American heroes. My dad was the first hero I ever knew. These are American heroes. And if Daniel Morgan were still alive today, I could throw a stone in the Shenandoah River and get him wet, because this is where he came from. And this is where he walked 600 miles to Boston in 21 days. And I tell the Boy Scouts that when I take them up to Washington's Overlook on the Appalachian Trail, looks right down into the valley. Think about it. And the kids are the little older ones. The guys are working on their Eagle badge. He said, "Hey, the I-95 wasn't here then, was it?" No. 21 days, 31 miles a day average, hiked all the way to Boston.
Wow.
And then led the first offensive that the Congress direct. This is a perfect example of Congress meddling in what they ought to stay away from. Inside Congress, they're trying to get rid of the commander-in-chief they just appointed. There's people plotting against George Washington. And Congress says, the British are basically in siege in Boston. We can't launch an offensive against them. They can't launch an offensive. It's a gridlock. So let's launch an offensive. Let's go invade Canada. And it's the middle of winter. What's the temperature? I just heard the news and weather on your end of the world. 25 degrees tonight?
Yeah, 6 degrees with the wind chill.
244 years ago, 244 days today, Daniel Morgan's riflemen were perched on the St. Lawrence River trying to figure out how to break into Quebec. And they launched the attack on the last day of the year, December 31st. I don't want to give away the end of the story, but I think the word disaster is appropriate.
Well, look, I'm ready to go invade Canada again. Try it another time. Remove blackface. Yeah. He is Lieutenant Colonel Ollie North, combat decorated U.S. Marine, #1 best-selling author, former president of the NRA. So many accomplishments, and his new book, which I'm sure will go to #1 as well, The Rifleman. Ollie North's The Rifleman. You want to pick that up. Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, thanks so much for joining us again. Good luck with the book.
God bless you, Dan. Amy Semper Fi. Go to Amazon.com. You can get it in time for Christmas, by the way.
All right.
There you go. All right.
Thank
Thanks so
you
much.
so much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
There is a battle being fought right here in America. The radical left is trying to silence anyone who disagrees with them. They want to shut you up.
I'm Dennis Prager. There's no more important issue facing America today. If we can't speak freely, we can't be heard.
But one film is fighting back. No Safe Spaces.
Every American should see this.
See No Safe Spaces, only in theaters. Rated PG-13. Go to nosafespaces.com for tickets.
Ooh, you did see Safe Spaces?
No Safe Spaces.
No Safe.
Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla.
Did you like it? Was good?
It was good. There's a we'll talk about it when we talk to Heather McDonald about in the 8 o'clock hour.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there were they did a good job of recounting a lot of stories that we've covered on this show, so you'll be familiar with them if you listen to this show. But there were some really cool commentaries by people like Shelby Steele. It's definitely worth seeing.
Okay. Exclusive offer for our listeners just in time for the holidays. If you buy a set of Giza cotton sheets from MyPillow, guess what? You'll get the second set for free, 2 for 1. And not only that, but you'll get free shipping. And if you add anything else onto your order, like a MyPillow or a mattress topper or the new MyPillow towels, anything, those items will ship free too. And you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, but you have to use the promo code AMY, A-M-Y. This is the perfect holiday gift. The Giza cotton sheets, honestly, they're lovely, and they're a lot more practical in the purse department, if you know what I mean, compared to Egyptian cotton sheets that you can buy at a department store. These are better, and you get 2 for the price of 1. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, so please go to MyPillow.com, type AMY, A-M-Y, in that promo code, and voila, 30% off your order, plus free shipping. Plus, if you order Giza cotton sheets, you get a second set absolutely free. MyPillow.com, promo code AMY, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I see a big change in both my grandchildren. They're sleeping better. They're going to bed earlier. They're able to fall asleep better. And their grades are improving in school. For some reason, this generation of kids have not been raised on eating whatever was put on the table. They've been kind of catered to, and fruits and vegetables are not a big part of what they eat. So I see a big difference in both these boys. More kids should take this. It's no more expensive than a really good vitamin, to be honest with you.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 25% off of your first order. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
What will a Senate trial in January look like? We'll ask Indiana Senator Mike Braun at 7:37.
And later, another reason why Dan Proft is single. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
House Democrats unveiling 2 articles of impeachment against the president today. They say at a press conference this morning, Democrat leaders are believed to be taking the wraps off the articles, including abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. At a Wall Street Journal event last night, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked if she thought she had the votes to approve those articles.
On an issue like this, we don't count the votes. People will just make their voices known on it. I haven't counted votes, nor will I.
Democrats accuse the president of abusing his office by pressuring Ukraine to investigate political rivals. New Zealand authorities now say 6 are confirmed dead in the eruption of a volcano Monday. All those who died have been rescued from White Island. 6 died at a hospital today. 8 others are missing and presumed dead. Former FBI Director James Comey says Monday's Justice Department IG report clears the agency.
And finally, the truth is out. It was lies. There was no treason. There was no conspiracy. There was no tapping of Trump's wires. There was no putting informants in the campaign. It was all nonsense.
The report was on the origins of the FBI investigation into Russian election interference and possible involvement in the Trump campaign. Kentucky's pro-life abortion law will not get a hearing before the Supreme Court. The justices declining to hear an appeal to that law, leaving it in place. It requires doctors to perform ultrasounds and show fetal images to women who request abortions. More testing needed to determine how Chicago-born hip-hop artist Juice WRLD died. An autopsy was unable to determine an exact cause of death. Chicago police did confirm a Chicago Tribune report that the rapper's girlfriend told agents that Jared Higgins had taken the opioid painkiller Percocet, and agents found suspected marijuana and guns in the group's luggage. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx is getting a prime spot in the March 2020 primary election ballot. Foxx will appear first on the ballot in her bid for re-election after her name was chosen during a lottery yesterday. Well, it's that time of year. We're all in the kitchen. Most of us are baking one thing or another in General Mills. The flour maker is out with its list of the most popular Christmas cookies in the U.S. The most popular Christmas cookie nationwide, peanut butter blossoms. Those are those delicious little nuggets with the Hershey's Kisses on top. 7 states visited that recipe most often over the past several years. Raptors over the Bulls, 93-92. Season is over for Bears inside linebacker Roquan Smith with a torn pectoral muscle. The news service of Staples Print and Marketing Services, makes connecting with clients and loved ones easy. Hundreds of holiday templates you can customize, and right now get 20% off select custom cards and invitations. Ends 12/28/19. Limit 1. Visit staples.com/holiday cards or store for details. Staples. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You've heard me talk for many years about all the problems I've had trying to eat right, be healthy, especially around the holidays. I have formed a partnership with an incredible American success story called Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. They've been shipping me incredible, delicious, portion-controlled meals. They're fresh. They're never frozen. Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating is operated by a wonderful dietitian nutritionist. It's like having my own personal chef. It's incredible. It's saving me a lot of time shopping and stopping off for food. No more fast food. I'm loving my breakfasts, lunch, and dinner from Seattle Sutton's. Over 99 million meals have been served by Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. No gimmicks, no fads, just delicious, clean, healthy meals shipped directly to your home twice a week. Contact them today to get started and tell them Mike Gallagher sent you, and you'll get a special discount. Call 800-442-DIET. 800-442-DIET. 800-442-3438, or just go to SeattleSutton.com, SeattleSutton.com.
Are you struggling with gift ideas this year? Give the gift of massage from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka, the oldest and best-rated massage therapy center on the North Shore. Order instant gift cards online by visiting MassageWinnetka.com. Share and give the gift of therapeutic massage this holiday season from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka, a proud supporter of Food for the Poor and AM 560. Founded in 1989 by owner and director John G. Lewis, Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka is open every day of the week, featuring 9 exceptional therapists on staff, known for the best sports massage, pain relief, relaxation, and stress reduction treatments. Struggling with gift ideas? Give the gift of massage and relaxation from Massage Therapy Center of Winnetka. Order instant gift cards online by visiting MassageWinnetka.com and check out their holiday specials. That's MassageWinnetka.com, MassageWinnetka.com, or call 847-446-5700, 847-446-5700.
7:35 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Kennedy, delays start at Cumberland. It's 55 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 31 from Montrose, 29 of the Express. Outbound 34 minutes to the airport. Edens, 24 minutes Lake Cook Junction, outbound 28. Inbound Eisenhower, now 57 minutes, 390 to downtown, 42 from Mannheim, outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 36. Inbound Ryan, 28 minutes, 95 to downtown, outbound 19. I-57, 29 minutes, 90 to the merge, Mission 425. Northbound Tri-State delays are from the 83rd Street toll to 47th. That's from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, northbound Veterans Memorial, out into the Reagan Tollway. That's traffic. I'm Jim Palamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. First, your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly to mostly sunny, colder today, high 25. Very cold overnight, low 13. Partly sunny and cold tomorrow, high only of 25. Currently 17. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to your heart when he's calling for you.
Sad news. She died.
Yeah, Roxette front woman Marie Fredrickson just reporting that she passed away at the age of 61.
Well, she'd been fighting a brain cancer for 17 years and lost her battle this morning. So.
That's 80s staple, Roxette. They had a number of hits. Yeah.
Are you going to be okay?
Remember The Look?
She's got the look.
It is, yeah. Apparently Justin's a big Roxette fan, too. Yeah, wise beyond his years. All right, Jerry Nadler had the look yesterday, the look of somebody befuddled by what was transpiring before his House Judiciary Committee, as basically you had about 5 hours of posterized tweets and lawyers and politicians arguing about Robert's Rules of Order. That was sort of the sum total of the closing arguments to the impeachment case. I don't know that anybody learned anything that they hadn't learned in the previous 100 hours of committee testimony.
I learned that Castor use reusable bags from Whole Foods.
It's nice, yeah, to
carry his binder in, the notebook and the binder.
Sure, remind you that he's a three-dimensional human being. Yeah, absolutely.
He was persuasive.
To impeach a president who 63 million people voted for over 8 lines in a call transcript is baloney. The inquiry has returned no direct evidence that President Trump withheld a meeting or security assistance in order to pressure President Zelensky.
Yeah, I remember learning baloney, which is a legal term in law school. Yeah.
Is it really?
No.
Oh.
Of course not. It's just people making, offering op-eds in rhetorical form. I mean, but that's what a closing argument is, reviewing what we understand to be true. The question is, was it persuasive to enough Democrats, Mr. Castor and others, persuasive to enough Democrats to reject the articles of impeachment that will be most likely revealed this morning? And if not, which perhaps is more likely than not, what will a Senate trial look like come the first of the year? For answers to those questions, we're pleased to be joined again by Indiana Senator Mike Braun. Senator Braun, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to be on.
Before we even get to what may or may not transpire in the Senate, what was your sort of top line takeaway from the last couple of weeks of impeachment hearings?
Well, I think for me it was interesting because I always look at the political underpinnings, and this is turning into a nightmare for Pelosi and really the party that's been wanting to orchestrate this from 2 years ago before they even knew what the particular reason might be that they use. And I noticed probably a month and a half ago when they were trying to focus group and poll their way into support that it hit a pretty hard ceiling, not too different from the Trump faves and unfaves all along. And when that started to really slow, it, to me, was going to be interesting because there was a difference between polling to pursue impeachment to kind of get all the information out, which was, somewhat, like I say, I think it may have reached a little over 50%. And then it never did impact the polls of what was going to happen in November of 2020. And when that Marquette poll came out, maybe a couple weeks ago,
In Wisconsin,
showed Trump winning in Wisconsin, that had to be an oh my gosh moment for Democrats. And then just 2 days ago, they had polls in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, even widening those margins. And outside the margin of error in Pennsylvania, this has got to be their worst nightmare. But it's what you get when you do it based upon wanting to do it regardless of the evidence. And I think that's playing itself out now. Their sunk costs are so great that we will, I think, get a majority vote in the House for one or two of those articles of impeachment. But they have paid the price politically, and I think when they formalize it with those votes, that'll even hurt them more. And when it comes to the Senate, it's going to be a dead duck in the sense that there's been nothing new, and there's been more solidarity over here in the last week to 10 days than what there would have been a month ago up to, say, 2 weeks ago.
It was nice that Nancy Pelosi could bring Senate Republicans together. Her moment of surrender for me was the interchange with reporter James Rosen. As soon as Nancy Pelosi said these words, "As a Catholic, I reject," and then the rest of it, I knew, invoking her religion. That's basically an appeal to God on her behalf. That is literally a Hail Mary by Nancy Pelosi.
I mean, I think you're right, and I think for them, in any, as an entrepreneur over the years, you generally have to build things way ahead into a business plan, and you better have a pretty good nose for it, because you get into the fork in the road and have trouble deciding which way to go, or especially pick the wrong one, it doesn't turn out well. And here, I think, due to the fact we were seeing discussions of impeachment after the election in November and December, and even before inauguration in January, that had an unwholesome underpinning. And with the Mueller report flopping, and this is their kind of last ditch attempt, it's fallen apart for them politically. And the bad thing is, it is eating up so much time and energy. We are not doing anything to fix a broken healthcare system. Pelosi's probably going to have to get the USMCA across the finish line, because she's taken political heat for that as well. But we're not doing any of the business here that most people expect us to do. Anyway.
Senator, I was just wondering, are you sure that all Senate Republicans are on the same page with this, so you don't have to worry about, say, a Mitt Romney out of Utah?
I'd say the Republicans that are going to have the hardest choice, it comes down to a political one again, because it's not on the merits of the case. I think even Mitt Romney is probably more inclined to, vote against the conviction in the Senate, simply because the merits haven't been there. It'll be tough for some races like Colorado, where it is a blue state and you're running against that sentiment. On the other hand, I don't think it's going to be out of the question that you might get Doug Jones in Alabama, Joe Manchin in West Virginia. I think Trump carried West Virginia by 42 points. That would have to be a very difficult decision for Joe Manchin to go against that kind of, sway from, and he's crossed the line several times before. So I think, I really think on the Republican side, there needed to be something there, and it just has not materialized. And now the fact that the polling in the swing states are showing that this has helped Trump, this is all, this is a political exercise in the first place, and it's just turned south for Nancy Pelosi and the ones that have pushed it.
Is the approach that Senate Republicans under Majority Leader McConnell, the approach they're going to take, similar to the closing argument we're seeing across the pond with the Brexit election coming up on Thursday, which is basically the conservatives are saying, we believe the populace is at the point of saying, just get this done and let's move on. And is that essentially what McConnell and Senate Republicans are going to do? We're going to have the trial, we're going to get it done, and we're going to move on. Or do you think this is going to drag out over months?
No, ironically, I think that the White House is going to be pushing hard to have a full vindication, to have its chance to, counterpunch. And I think that will be tempered by the fact that since there's nothing new coming, that will be given its due course. And I believe, from my understanding, any senator can make the motion to move to a vote. That motion would have to be approved by 51 senators. And I got a feeling there'll be someone that once we've gotten through the basics, where we've heard basically no more than what we've heard before, with the president's folks giving their counterpunch, that it would be shorter rather than longer. That's my gut feel.
The other reckoning that certainly a lot of conservatives and Trump voters are spoiling for is with respect to the FBI and to some extent the CIA, with respect to the 2016 investigations. You had this IG report released yesterday that documented no less than 51 violations of procedure, 9 false statements with respect to FISA applications. And it's not for Michael Horowitz, necessarily, the Inspector General, to draw conclusions about prosecutions, but it is for Durham. And a reckoning coming under with respect to Jim Comey and the senior leadership at FBI, or John Brennan and the senior leadership at CIA.
Thank goodness this is happening. And and I knew this 3 months ago, 3 processes. It would have been with the IG, which has just come out currently. Lindsey Graham will be interviewing him tomorrow in his committee. So there'll be some committee review. How long that takes would be up to Lindsey. And then the most important part will be what U.S. Attorney Durham and, of course, AG Barr decide to do with the information. The scope was very limited in what the IG could do in terms of where he could push, where he could poke, who he could talk to. That gets expanded in the next step. And even though it's trying to be dismissed as there was no bias, you cited 51 technicalities, violations. That doesn't happen unless there's more there. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I think that's going to happen at a time almost in paralleling, when we're sitting in the Senate listening to the case being made there. So it'll be interesting to see how that's all processed by the public and by the media.
Yeah, I want a point that's not emphasized enough. Horowitz internal, Durham external. Durham is much broader, right?
Yep.
He is Senator. He is Indiana Senator Republican Mike Braun. Senator Braun, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, you bet.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I see a big change in both my grandchildren. They're sleeping better, they're going to bed earlier, they're able to fall asleep better, and their grades are improving in school. For some reason, this generation of kids have not been raised on eating whatever was put on the table. They've been kind of catered to, and fruits and vegetables are not a big part of what they eat. So I see a big difference in both these boys. More kids should take this. It's no more expensive than a really good vitamin, to be honest with you.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 25% off of your first order. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, guys. Do you struggle every Christmas banging your head against the wall trying to figure out what to get your wife or girlfriend?
Peloton?
Hey! Well, if she's going to ride a Peloton, she should wear her Nudie sleepwear. Oh, it's available exclusively at Pajamagram. Sensuous and smooth Nudie's pajamas. Feel just like her own bare skin. And the texture and touch of Nudie pajamas is so seductive, you'll both stay occupied well into the evening. She's going to love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you're going to love the way they look.
I bet that goes well with a couple of aviation gin martinis.
Yeah, you're darn right it does, Dan. Plus, listen to this. Every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging that's like icing on the cake because it means you don't have to wrap a thing. They're also backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee, so you risk nothing, and delivery by Christmas guaranteed. So get her something special she'll really love and take care of the hardest person to shop for on your holiday list. Here's what you do. It's simple. Go to pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com and come and tell them that Dan and Amy sent you.
The following is a true story.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel the timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-515-1771. That's 800-515-1771. 800-515-1771.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350-350. That's TOP to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Are you looking for a unique and unusual gift that will be used and appreciated all year round? Well, consider the Basement Defender. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. The Basement Defender is our new patented product that will test your sump pumps every day and notify you of any problems before an emergency occurs. And most importantly, it will give you and your family the peace of mind knowing that your basement is protected against flooding. Toys and sweaters are nice, but if you really want to give a truly memorable present that will be appreciated every day for years to come, give the Basement Defender to your spouse, parents, kids, or to yourself. Any Basement Defender sold in December will include a free subscription plan through March of 2020. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-7325 and we'll install before Christmas and even put a bow on it. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Your best for being better, Permaseal.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is 60 Seconds of Sanity with Dan Proft. The timer starts now.
Once we get past impeachment, we're going to have to return to some big questions. Free exchange versus the GOP's government men. In 1988, after 8 years of Reagan and 20 million new jobs, George H.W. Bush called for a kinder, gentler nation. Bush the elder refused to adhere in theory to what he witnessed work in practice. He was a government man. In 2000, George W. Bush's compassionate conservatism gave us the largest new federal entitlement program, Medicare Part D, since the Great Society. George W. was a government man. In 2019, per his recent speech at Catholic University, Senator Marco Rubio claims common good capitalism is the order of the day. Rubio is a government man. Like compassionate conservatism, common good capitalism is a redundancy, Neither term requires a modifier. Rubio's sentimental redefinition represents a coming battle within conservative ranks between proponents of the morality of free exchange and Republican government men. Rubio challenged us to answer, does America exist to serve the market, or does the market exist to serve America? The better question is, who defines what's in the economic interests of 80 million American families? Marco Rubio or each one of those families? Do you have a rebuttal?
Yes, I do, sir.
60 seconds. Total madness. This is 60 Seconds of Crazy with Amy J.
Speaking of money,
yeah,
my son's first date ever cost me $82.12.
He's working. Why didn't he pay?
Well, because he didn't have the cash. See, he found a lady friend, Dan, but she's not in Cook County or Lake County. She happens to be 2 counties over. Henry County, I think. Because they played Round Lake in football, and he met her outside the locker room.
Uh-huh.
And so they've been texting back and forth, so he decided to go visit her, and he missed the train.
Where?
And he called me, Mom, I missed the metro to get to see her.
Where does she come down on free marketeers versus Republican government men?
We haven't gotten that far yet, Dan.
Okay.
But I did call her mom to make sure it was a legit date. She picked him up, and they went to see the movie Frozen 2.
Really?
Yeah. Very romantic.
I've got some disturbing stories about Frozen 2.
Wait, real
we'll
quick.
save those.
Yeah, but so he missed the train, so I had to Uber him out there.
That was the $82?
Yes.
Oh. Well, didn't
Find a chick in Cook County, please.
Didn't he take her out to eat or buy her a Peloton?
But he's got a job at Zia's now on the weekend, so he paid for the dinner at the pizza place.
Now we're circling all the way back to economics. He has a job at Zia's right now, but he's last man in a restaurant in an industry that's going to be beset by government price controls in the form of minimum wage hikes. And there's a restaurant recession coming to cities like Chicago that are artificially increasing the cost of labor in low margin businesses like restaurants.
Right, and he makes $10 an hour, and then obviously gets tipped out by the waitresses. But if they move that mandatory $15 an hour, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, he's going to have more time for his art. That's what's going to happen.
Real quickly, want to tell you and remind you about our campaign this year to help those less fortunate. Food for the Poor. Our goal is to provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families living in Colombia. And the best way to help is if you own a business or if you make the marketing decisions for your company. What we have is our business benefactor program, and you make a one-time donation of $2,500. It's tax deductible. And then as a way of saying thank you, we give you 40 60-second commercials. We want to thank Dietz Janitorial, Vane Center of Orland Park, just to name a few of the business benefactors who've signed up to do that. Please call Ann Jeanette, and her number is 847-472-8951, 847-472-8951. It's the best deal in Chicago advertising, that's for sure. And it always sells out, so do it sooner rather than later. Call Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951, or simply go to 560theanswer.com. Search for the keyword food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll return to our topic of impeachment, the Senate trial, and what comes after Trump's acquittal with David Drucker from the Washington Examiner at 8:08.
But now let's get into the newsroom with some big news coming out of Washington, D.C. Here's Mike Scott.
We're also following a very interesting notes on what is happening with ex-police superintendent Eddie Johnson's replacement. 1 week after being fired by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Drew Peterson moved to another prison. Raptors edged the Bulls last night.
This is a Fox News alert. House Democrats ready to move forward with impeachment. I'm Dave Anthony.
President Trump violated his oath to the American people. He placed his own private interests ahead of our national security and the integrity of our elections.
Jerry Nadler chairs the Judiciary Committee in this hour, expected to unveil abuse of power and obstruction of Congress charges against President Trump, who tweeted, "It is sheer political madness," claiming he did nothing wrong, asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden while initially holding up military aid. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Democrats moving swiftly with narrow articles of impeachment. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told the Wall Street Journal CEO Council annual meeting last night it's a sad time for the country.
And I'd hoped over a long period of time that it was something that could be exculpatory,
for the president.
Republican Senator Mike Braun of Indiana told Fox and Friends First he supports a trial in the upper chamber.
The president needs to do whatever he wants to do to now make his case.
Markup sessions are expected in the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow or Thursday. Dave?
Rachel, the president is also reacting again this morning to the Justice Department's Inspector General report finding 17 significant errors in the FBI's applications for surveillance on a Trump campaign associate. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president tweeting, "I don't know what report current director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, was reading, but it sure wasn't the one given to me." He continued, with that kind of attitude, he will never be able to fix the FBI, which is badly broken despite having some of the greatest men and women working there. The 434-page IG report released yesterday found the FBI had what it called an authorized purpose when it initiated its investigation into the Trump campaign and rejected the assertion that the case was opened out of political animus. Dave?
John, in New Zealand, one of the 31 injured victims from Monday's volcano eruption has died. Many were badly burned. 5 other people were killed. 8 more are missing and presumed dead. America's listening to Fox News.
18 degrees, cloudy skies, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. More testing is needed this morning to determine how a Chicago-born hip-hop artist, Juice WRLD, died after exiting his plane at Midway Airport. An autopsy performed yesterday on the rapper, whose real name is Jared Higgins, was unable to determine an exact cause of death. Chicago police did confirm a Tribune report that the rapper's girlfriend told agents Higgins had taken the opioid painkiller Percocet. Agents also found pounds of suspected marijuana and guns with armor-piercing bullets in the group's luggage. A week after ex-police superintendent Eddie Johnson was fired by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, first in a series of public meetings was held. Members of the police board met last night at the Trinity United Church of Christ.
A reformist who is willing to shake up the system.
2 more public meetings are scheduled this week on the 11th and 12th. Chicago Public Schools recommending the closure of 2 underperforming charter schools, the Fraser Preparatory Academy and Chicago Virtual Charter School. Authorities say 2 men died after shooting one another in Chicago as one of them was taking his son to school. 31-year-old man was shot several times on the city's south side while walking with his son, who was unhurt. That man returned fire, striking the 24-year-old shooter in both legs. Both later were pronounced dead at nearby hospitals. Raptors winners over the Bulls, 93-92. Season over for Bears inside linebacker Roquan Smith with a torn pectoral muscle. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. It's a service of Signature Bank helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Small business owners are feeling better about the economy. The National Federation of Independent Business says its index rose in November with the largest month-over-month gain since May of 2018. Small businesses are continuing to invest, hire, and increase wages. The survey was based on responses from 500 small business owners last month. The Federal Reserve begins its 2-day meeting today. It is not expected to change interest rates, but investors will be listening for the Fed's forecast on the economy. White Castle is recalling frozen burgers and cheeseburgers because of possible bacteria contamination. The recall includes various packages of White Castle products for possible presence of listeria. There have been no reported illnesses, but the company is removing the products from the stores and is urging customers to throw them away. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder says the dots just don't connect.
But he wasn't going to run in 2020, right? He's going to cash out, right, Joe Scarborough? So why then would he pressure the president of Ukraine to do something that would give him an advantage in the re-election race, a re-election race that only a few months ago you guys said he wasn't interested in running? This thing on? I don't think this thing is on.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, If you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
It's the Built for the Holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours just don't magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs and trucks. You don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents, naughty or nice. Just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event. Best-in-class payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/2020. See participating dealer for complete details.
8:07 AM 560 Traffic Center time and Jim Talamonte.
Kennedy inbound delays started Central. It's 55 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 33 from Montrose, 31 on the Express. Eden's 24 minutes Lake Cook to the Junction, outbound now 31. Inbound Eisenhower, looking at about an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown, 47 minutes to Manheim, outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevens, 57 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 39. Ryan is 41 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 19. 57, 29 minutes, ID to the merge, Mission 425. Northbound tri-state delays are from the 83rd Street toll to 47th and from the Reagan toll at Lawrence. It's about Reagan toll, it's heavy from the Fox River to Eola. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, partly to mostly sunny, much colder. High today, 25. It'll be clear and cold tonight with the low dropping to 13. Partly sunny, cold day for tomorrow, high 25. Clouds and breezy on Thursday with a high 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
17 at O'Hare, 19 Lakefront. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Find holiday gift ideas for you and the family at the leading indoor shooting range, Shoot Point Blank. Check out great savings on ammo, accessories, firearms, and more. Not sure what to get? Shoot Point Blank offers gift cards too. See shootpointblank.com for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Well, all the Democrat socialist stars are at the dais. Mr. Sardonicus is speaking right now, but you got Speaker Pelosi there and Adam Schiff. Maxine Waters.
Yeah, they threw her in there. Why do you think she's in the background there?
She's a committee chairman of financial institutions.
Of course, that's right.
So all of the committee chairmen that are responsible for putting together this airtight case for impeachment, so they say, are describing the articles of impeachment that they're currently unveiling.
We're watching history
at this press conference. We are watching history. Well, there's no doubt about that. And so the question is whether or not that they've convinced any Republicans, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But whether they've convinced enough
members of their own party,
Democrats, that you don't have Jeff Van Drew leading a little mini revolt to avoid having this go over to the Senate, extend into the new year, and with a Trump acquittal. And so much pressure are they feeling, it would seem to me, that Wall Street Journal reporting yesterday that Nancy Pelosi is moving in with the White House to get the USMCA through the House over to the Senate, which will get through the Senate, be signed by the president, and be a done deal. Feeling the pressure from members in those swing districts around the country. For more on this topic, as well as the IG report, we're pleased to be joined by David Drucker, senior political correspondent for the Washington Examiner. David, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Good to be here.
So what about that? Is there any chance that you may have any more than a couple of stragglers with respect to House Democrats, or is this pretty much a fait accompli?
No, I don't think you're going to. I mean, you'll get a few that'll lay off. I mean, maybe it could be as many as a half a dozen, although I don't think so. But it's going to happen. I mean, Nancy Pelosi knows how to count votes. She knows where her caucus is.
Wait. She said yesterday that this is one of those things where you don't count votes, David. You just roll it out there and have everybody vote their conscience and come what may.
You always count votes when you're a House leader, Republican or Democrat. I don't care who it is.
Well, yeah, she said that, and then they had a close
there are a few that have been better at this than her. And so she knows exactly where her members are. She knows that this is going to happen. And then it'll head to the Senate where you will get an acquittal. And then we can all move on. And, look, I don't think it's any surprise that the updated NAFTA agreement, or USMCA, is being signed. It was always going to happen. I think the two things were involved here. One, I think House Democrats wanted to put their imprint on it and make it clear to the president that they were negotiating a deal they wanted as well. They also need to give their swing district members something to go home with for the holidays, particularly given the impeachment issue, so that they can now say, look, we felt that it was necessary to proceed with impeachment. That hasn't prevented us from doing what needs to be done in terms of issues you actually care about. And USMCA symbolically is going to be a big win for the president, and it's going to be the first deal he's really ever done with the Democrats. So it's a big deal, but it's something that everybody in Congress generally agreed was going to happen, should happen. But the timing is sure interesting. An hour apart in the announcements. Impeachment at 9 Eastern time. Trade agreement with the White House at 10 Eastern time.
Well, right. So they're obviously feeling the heat with respect to the criticism, impeachment to the exclusion of everything else. They have to. I mean, it seems to me that Nancy Pelosi feels a little bit cornered. She's invoking her faith. She's doing this deal. They have to, as you say, have to give their members something, but also have to respond to the argument that all the Democrats are is impeachment or bust.
Yeah, no, it's been an argument they've had to deal with somewhat. Now, I will say what's really interesting about this is even for Democrats in swing districts, some of them are the reasons that we're here. I mean, it was, a group of Democrats from swing districts with national security backgrounds that got together to sort of push their caucus over the edge into impeachment. Nancy Pelosi didn't want to do it, but once the train was leaving the station, she didn't have a choice, and so she's been trying to manage this ever since. But I've detected very, very little regret among Democrats who just have a totally different opinion of everything involved here than do the Republicans. They may find themselves in a bit of hot water. They may have trouble explaining it sometimes, but they don't regret it, and their opinions about what the president did or did not do are pretty fixed.
So Jerry Nadler did announce 2 articles of impeachment just now: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Do you see any more articles coming down, or that's it? They're not going to go for the third one with obstruction in accordance with the Mueller report?
I would be surprised. I think they wanted to keep it narrow. I think that is also a way they cannot get caught up in whether or not they're trying to get around the Mueller report. In other words, the president and Republicans have been saying, among other things, that Democrats have always been out to get him. When the Mueller report didn't deliver, they just found some other excuse. And so I think this will be their way of saying, look, regardless of our disagreements with the president, which are numerous, and, our dissatisfaction with the way he behaves, which is, we all understand how Democrats feel about that. This was related to the specific thing you did that was wrong, and also related to the fact that you are not participating in legitimate constitutional oversight. So I expect that things will remain where they are in regard to just these two articles being introduced.
I certainly appreciate Democrats' self-esteem and their sense of moral rectitude. Although it surprised me that other than the Emanuel brothers, does anybody look, say, at the Real Clear Politics approval averages comparing Obama to Trump at this time in their respective presidencies, find that they're indistinguishable, and express concern that you have a president who is going to be impeached who has the same approval rating as Obama did at this time in his presidency?
Well, I don't know that people are looking at approval ratings in that regard, and the country's become so polarized. I'm not sure how much that matters. If I were Democrats, what would concern me would be polling in some of these presidential battlegrounds that has not responded favorably the way to their cause in terms of the presidential race. Now, it's still very close. The way our politics moves these days, today's scandal is forgotten 10 minutes later. So who knows how things will look 6 months from now. Interestingly enough, there's not a lot of concern, and I kind of understand this from the perspective of the House majority. There isn't huge indications. There really aren't indications that it's in any sort of trouble. The problem for Democrats is that it appears to have impacted voters' thoughts on the presidential contest, and that's the kind of thing they're going to want to reverse. What they have going for them is they still don't have a nominee. Eventually they'll have one. The nominee versus Trump will frame the race anew, and the president will continue to generate both loyal support and very aggressive opposition just by being himself. And so once this whole thing is over by the end of January, I tend to think it's going to be half forgotten. But that, of course, will depend on who the Democrats nominate.
He is David Drucker, senior political correspondent for the Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
What is he doing? Rolling the dice, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
We have a very special pajamagram live read. Go ahead, Sean.
No, they're calling it heterosexual. It can't be you and Dan doing this. It's got to be someone who loves women in pajamas. What, do you want me to actually do it? I thought we could just do it. All right, here we go. Guys, do you struggle every Christmas? Banging your head against the wall? Trying to get along with your wife? Here's a makeup gift. Pajamagram. Save yourself the headache this year. Here's how.
Remember where you were when Pajamagram stopped being a sponsor.
By giving her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. With
What's
soft,
that?
Silky, can you say nudies? Nudies?
Yeah, it's Nudies sleepwear. It feels great. It's sensuous.
Two of these. Get yourself one on me, too, Toots.
And it sounds creepy when Sean says it.
Well, it's sensuous and smooth. Nudies pajamas feel like her own bare skin.
Make yourself useful. Turn down the lights.
She's going to love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all. And you're going to love the way they look.
Right.
Plus,
she'll look like her sister? No. Okay. All right. There's also... Wait a minute. They're also backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee. All right. If I break up with her, can I get my money back?
Exactly. And every pajamagram includes free gift packaging. That's the icing on the cake because it means you don't have to wrap a thing. Here's what you do. Go to pajamagram.com. Pajamagram.com and tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk USA, you're probably paying too much for your cell service. Pure Talk covers 99% of the country, and plans start at just $20 per line with no contract and a 1-month risk-free guarantee. You've got nothing to lose. You can even keep your phone and your number. Get 50% off your first month when you call now. Just go to puretalkusa.com and enter promo code HALF-OFF. That's puretalkusa.com, promo code HALF-OFF.
What's the easiest way to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? Balance of nature.
Balance of Nature is the quickest and easiest way to consume several different sources of clean energy from the sun. By simply removing the water and air, Balance of Nature can take 31 whole fruits and vegetables and put them into quick and easy-to-eat capsules. With just 3 fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get the equivalent of over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's a lot of stored energy that your body will love. So if you are looking for an easier way to get clean energy, go to balanceofnature.com and order your bottles of sunshine today.
Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 25% off of your first order. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy looking to do some things during the holidays. You got some time off from work. Well, you can jet off to New York and see if you can locate that banana duct taped to a wall.
They sold 3 of them, 2 for $120,000 and another one for $150,000. And the artist, or the alleged artist, because I think they're making a mockery of art.
Mauricio Catalan.
Yeah, he bought the banana at a store for $1.
Yeah.
And duct taped it to a wall, which probably put him out another 50 cents. And
Well,
they call that art?
It's an appealing piece.
Oh, hey, I see what you did. It's called The Comedian, yeah. And who's the joke on?
But now, you said $120,000, $150,000, but you're not including the fact that that comes with replacement bananas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So you have to include that in terms of the consideration for your price point. There's no question.
But that's just sickening that people have money like that to throw around, 6 figures for a stupid banana with duct tape on it.
You know how many bananas you could have bought? Somebody, of course, did the calculation.
Of course. Oh, yes.
19 cents each. You could have bought 631,000 bananas for the price of the banana duct taped to a wall.
Yeah, and how are they going to get the wall out? Does it come with the wall that it's on? No.
No, right. Yeah, you affix that, I guess. Yeah, you affix that to a wall in your gallery.
In your house.
Or your home. Yeah.
Well, one of the...
This is the Art Basel. This occurred at the Art Basel Festival. I've never been to that, but I do want to go to it just because it's fun to see the silliness of it all, the people that are sort of caricatures of themselves. I think this is what Chesterton was talking about when he talked about, sort of the garish vulgarity of capitalism to some extent. I think this is sort of what he was getting at.
Well, one couple that bought the banana for $120,000, Billy and Beatrice Cox, and they brought home their banana on their private plane.
Yeah, that's you got to go to New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So stupid.
That's one thing you can do.
Yeah.
Also, looking at something to do with the kids. Glencoe Public Library, Sunday, December 29th. Nice post-Christmas family event. You got Muffy Fish Basket.
Muffy Fish Basket?
Muffy Fish Basket,
What's
which
that?
ironically was the name of my high school band.
Right.
We were an Apollonia 6 tribute band.
Okay.
You should have seen me in the lingerie. Muffy Fish Basket is a drag queen.
Okay.
She dresses up as Queen Elsa from Frozen 2. You like Frozen 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she'll be appearing at the Glencoe, or he'll be appearing at the Glencoe Public Library Sunday, December 29th, with stories, songs, and a craft. For children under 8, you must be accompanied by an adult. If you're 9 or older, you can go to Drag Queen Story and Song Hour at the Glencoe Public Library by yourself. So, you don't have to take the kids. You got your 9 or 10-year-old, just drop them off with Muffy Fish Basket at the Glencoe Public Library.
I'm going to Google Muffy Fish Basket. That is ridiculous.
Speaking of Frozen 2.
Fish Basket, yes.
I'm looking forward to one of our academics who outed those phony baloney identity studies disciplines and the journals associated with them. Mm-hmm. They did rape culture at dog parks, right? They excerpted Mein Kampf, and you had a social work journal reprinted in toto because they're intellectual frauds. Somebody is going to have to take this story and do a white paper on the rape culture associated with Frozen 2 stuffed animals, because a Florida man was arrested after he had sex with the stuffed animal Olaf, who's apparently a snowman from Frozen.
Right.
Yeah, he finished on the doll and then stuck it back on the shelf at a Target in St. Petersburg.
Gross, Dan.
I'm just saying, so if you take the kids out shopping for toys or stuffed animals, with all the Frozen hype,
Yeah.
I mean, you just want to be careful.
Did he get arrested?
He got, yes, he got arrested. Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah. He admitted.
He admitted to doing it?
He admitted to doing stupid stuff.
That's what he said? That's the stupid stuff.
And that he had, quote.
Oh, God. Here we go. What? Just say it. What?
Nutted on the Olaf stuffed animal. The toys, you'll be happy to know, were removed from the store floor. I hope the whole area was hazmated.
And now it's art and being sold for $120,000.
But now it's self-attaching to that wall. You don't even need the duct tape.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, we have to do penance for that last segment, so...
you better start repenting.
We're going to need your help, like the help we've received from Chris Jacobs and Associates with Century 21 Affiliated, Napleton Automotive Group, Elgin Eye Clinic, Build Tech Commercial Development, Bartkowski Life Insurance, Insure With Us of Burbank, and so many other businesses who've joined the Business Benefactor Program as part of our 2019 Food for the Poor campaign. Campaign
Getting choked
to
up.
provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families who are living as refugees in Colombia because of Maduroism and Chavezism, and how that has destroyed their homes and their country, unfortunately.
It really is a humanitarian crisis, and we desperately need your help.
The Business Benefactor Program works thusly: $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and in exchange for your generosity, we offer some of our own 40 60-second commercials on our airwaves during prime broadcasting hours, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., to profile your business and market your goods and services to our audience. The way to enroll in the Business Benefactor Program: call our sales manager, Ann Jeanette, at 847-472-8951. Again, her number is 847-472-8951. Or you can go to 560theanswer.com/food.
And every year this program sells out, so do this sooner rather than later. And again, it's the best deal in Chicagoland advertising. $2,500 tax deductible. The money goes to those in need, and then we give you 41-minute commercials. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Heather McDonald about why college students are so afraid of her. And I'll also offer my review of the Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla film, No Safe Spaces, which I saw last night. That's at 8:38.
but now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Clouds, snow showers at this moment, 18 degrees at 8:29. House Democrats are introducing 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
The House Committee on the Judiciary is introducing 2 articles of impeachment charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, with committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler of New York announcing his committee could vote to approve the articles by the end of the week. The full House would then need to approve before forwarding them on to the U.S. Senate for trial. Czech officials say a gunman killed himself after killing 6 others and injuring 2 more at a hospital in the city of Ostrava today. All of the victims were patients. 1 was shot in an operating room. Chile's Air Force has lost radio contact with a transport plane carrying 38 on a flight to that country's base in Antarctica. Authorities are indicating they're not optimistic about the aircraft's fate. The C-130 Hercules, made by Lockheed, took off Monday afternoon carrying 17 crew members and 21 passengers, including 3 civilians. Those folks who run and own America's small businesses are very optimistic. Today's Small Business Optimism Report for November shows the biggest month-over-month gain in 6 months. Well, if you've ever had that midnight crave and you like those frozen White Castles and you have them in the freezer, toss them out. This week, the company issued a recall for its frozen burgers because of listeria fears. All of the burgers have a best if used by date of August of 2020. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx getting a prime spot in the March 2020 primary election ballot. Foxx will appear first on that ballot, her name chosen during a lottery yesterday. Drew Peterson has a new prison. The Illinois Department of Corrections says the ex-Bolingbrook police officer is no longer in federal custody and has been transferred to a state facility outside of the state. Raptors 93-92 winners over the Bulls at the UC. Season over for Bears inside linebacker Roquan Smith. The second-year player placed on IR after suffering a torn pectoral muscle. The news service of T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile for Business is leading the 5G charge. They've invested nearly $30 billion in their advanced network design to drive true workforce mobility. T-Mobile for Business is with you where your office is today. Business is changing. Are you with them? Visit T-MobileForBusiness.com. 8:32 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is waiting for the other shoe to drop.
See, here's the thing about an impeachment. Both sides have to testify. Here's the thing about actually stupidly going forward trying to impeach the 45th president of the United States. The Democrats are going to have to speak under oath. And a lot of people who have been anti-Trump are going to have to be held to account.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
The late, great Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." Pretty wise words considering all of the distractions in modern society.
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution for your business that will make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. Daily you hear guys on the radio going back and forth about how they're better than the other guy, and then you hear how their team can help you buy or refinance a home. But answer this, are they a direct lender who has the ability to approve, underwrite, and close your loan? I am. Are they a middleman who's at the mercy of another company? I'm not. When you call, do you speak with the person who's telling you how great they are? Or are you talking to a salesperson? Not me. You work with me personally. And last, I put my money where my mouth is. I offer an exclusive rate match program for those times when I don't have the best rate. So to work with me personally, call 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN, or find me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
8:35 AM 560 traffic center time. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Eastbound Reagan Tollway traffic remains tight from 59 to Washington. The inbound Eisenhower has heavy delays starting around North Avenue. It's an hour from 390 to downtown, 43 minutes from Manheim. It's crashed at 17th with the two left lanes. Eden's 22 minutes late cook to the junction. Kennedy 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. No savings on the express. Stevenson runs 58 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Ryan 41 minutes from 95th. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lowell. But Adams Tollway side, Beverly Road to Bartlett Road. Northbound Veterans Memorial, and stop and go Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53 is heavy, Northwest Highway to Kirchhoff. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. We'll have partly sunny skies, colder, high 25. The moon out overnight is going to drop temperatures down to around 13 with clear conditions, partly sunny, very cold tomorrow, high 25. Currently 17. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. The best value for your company's holiday party is at tastycatering.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're going to talk to Justin Folk, the director of No Safe Spaces, tomorrow. But I saw it last night.
And
this is the Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla film. Most of it is narrated by one of those two gentlemen. It's good. It's good. And Prager's great. It's definitely worth checking out. Most of the stories, if you listen to this show, you will be familiar with. The Brett Weinstein saga at Evergreen State, the Halloween costume imbroglio at Yale, the general mayhem anytime a conservative speaker comes to the campus of UC Berkeley, the president of, or the professor at Middlebury College who was assaulted by a student for escorting Charles Murray across campus. They're well documented, but there's some other good interplays, particularly between Prager and college students, including at historically black universities like Clark in Atlanta. It's enlightening to see that interplay. Also, some really good interviews of scholars that you're familiar with. Again, if you listen to this show, like Shelby Steele, who has just a great 60-second riff on the poisonous victimization ideology of the left. And it concludes on a high note. I'll just say.
Don't tell me how it ends.
It's sort of a documentary, but
right.
But Dennis, I'll just say this: it concludes on a high note, and do not forget that Dennis Prager is a classical music aficionado. So I'll say that. But it's definitely worth checking out. And of course, somebody who has been subjected to the madness on college campuses is our next guest. She is Heather McDonald, contributing editor of the City Journal, author of the bestseller The War on Cops. She has written a recent column.
It's the best title. Why are college students so afraid of me?
It's funny because one of the fun episodes is Ben Shapiro going to UC Berkeley. And the way they juxtapose telling the story is you have $600,000 being spent for security at Berkeley in advance of Ben Shapiro's talk there. You've got, flak-jacketed, SWAT team looking like police all over the campus. You got urban assault vehicles. So they're looking at what's going on in preparation for Ben Shapiro coming to campus. And then Ben Shapiro's sitting at the terminal in the airport. This little Jewish guy sitting, just working at his computer. Then he puts his little computer in his computer bag. Then he's just walking, he just walks into the auditorium by himself with his little computer bag in tow. I mean, it couldn't be a less threatening person.
Right.
And you have scrambled, forces that would normally be attached to third world dictators in preparation for his arrival at UC Berkeley. It's just a great juxtaposition the way they present it. It really points to the silliness and the, frankly, totalitarian culture on college campuses. Heather McDonald, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for having me on, Dan and Amy. It's great talking with you.
So you're another just very intimidating, dangerous person when you step onto a college campus like Ben Shapiro and so many others. And what'd you come up with in terms of why college students are so afraid of you?
Well, I question their primary claim to self-importance at this point, which is that they are allegedly, by their own accounts, oppressed on college campuses. And if you say that, you work them into a state of absolute rage and resentment and hatred. My message when I come to college campuses is that students should understand that they're the most privileged individuals in history by virtue of their unfettered access to knowledge. And the idea that they are surrounded by life-threatening racism and sexism is an absolute delusion. They're surrounded by well-meaning adults who want all of their students to succeed, and yet there's a massive part of universities today that are dedicated to the proposition that the campus itself is roiling with discrimination and oppression against, above all, minority students, and students are a willing audience for that message, and it's a dangerous message, Dan and Amy, because not only does it inhibit their ability to seize these extraordinary opportunities that they have on campuses, but many of them are going to take that delusion with them into the world at large, and we're seeing this already happen. Anti-racism is becoming the national religion. The Democratic Party keeps pumping out this completely false narrative that America is defined by white supremacy, and that's having an effect on meritocratic standards, on our ability to be colorblind and sex blind when we hire, to be able to get the best people rather than use the trivialities of race and gender to decide who should be hired and promoted. So these things have consequences.
And walk us through what happened to you at Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. You were 15 minutes in. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Words are hard today, Heather. What happened during that talk?
Well, at that point, I was talking about Renaissance humanism, which is, again, Ben Shapiro may be unthreatening. You would think that talking about Petrarch and Francois Rabelais would also be unthreatening to students. But at that point, like half the room stood up and started chanting, "My oppression is not a delusion," which is just a ridiculous.
Petrarch, how dare you? How dare you, Heather? Petrarch, that's where I draw the line.
Don't talk to me about these dead white male poets and great novelists. This is just too hard to take. So they start chanting that, and then they had a variant on the chant, which is your homophobia is not welcome. This is all directed to me. Your sexism is not welcome. Your racism is not welcome. You are not welcome, which by then I had figured out. And so this went on for a while, and eventually they filed out. Now their plan had been to they were hoping these protesters. There was days of talk and organization, and then during my talk, all their smartphones were buzzing because they were all sending each other messages for when they were going to start their protest. They'd hoped to occupy the entire auditorium so that nobody else would be able to hear me speak. When they left half of the seats empty, and there have been hundreds of people who had wanted to get in that couldn't because the auditorium was full, and for some reason the security would not let those people who'd been kept out by these protesters in. So they prevented a lot of people at Holy Cross who wanted to hear me speak from doing so. And afterwards, one of the co-organizers, who's a co-president of the Black Student Union, which was the main organizer along with student government in this, crowed that this was just such a wonderful, empowering moment, and we, better things lie ahead, higher, even better protests and better assertions of victimhood. And this, too, is pathetic and sad that this student feels like her success is simply based on being able to, try and shut down somebody and proclaim victimhood. Here's a better way to say, oh, I feel so empowered, and this was just, I can't believe we pulled it off. How about you study for your chemistry exam? If you really feel so oppressed, the best revenge is to whoop everybody's ass academically, not to play the victim.
Yeah, but right. It's interesting how you describe them texting everybody, texting each other, and so on and so forth. They really do operate so many of these on college campuses like little barbarian hordes. It's like the orcs from Middle Earth. There's just wave after wave of them, and they're thoughtless and they're just angry, and in some cases violent. And this was profiled again in that No Safe Spaces movie. A celebrated case now in Evergreen State, where Brett Weinstein, who is a liberal mugged by the reality of his own students, almost literally, was told by campus police, we can't protect you. I wouldn't ride your bike down the path that you normally ride your bike to go from your home to campus. The president of the university has given us a stand-down order. We've ceded control of the university to the horde.
One wonders, Dan and Amy, at what point we should really get sort of melodramatic and hysterical about this. We are seeing signs of real fascism. Of course, the big irony is that these thugs get away with calling themselves anti-fascist, Antifa, but this use of violence is very, very dangerous, and yet we're all kind of looking the other way. But if this continues, America's traditional civil peace is really at risk, and our country. One of the things that we truly are exceptional about is the very broad protections for speech and our commitment to the idea that truth is best arrived at through competition in the marketplace of ideas, and that you have to allow people to challenge opposing ideas and make their best possible arguments, and that has been protected. But now you have students coming out into the world who don't believe in that. You have law students in the most prestigious law schools in the country, like Harvard and Yale, who believe they don't believe in due process. They believe that you believe survivors, that somebody who claims that she's a victim of sexual assault, like Christine Blasey Ford in the Brett Kavanaugh dispute, is entitled to automatic relief. If those students get on the federal bench, which they will,
yes,
the graduates of Yale and Harvard law schools, due process is over and free speech is over.
Well, that's it. The connecting of the dots. That's such an important point. And, the idea, intellectual marketplaces of ideas, free and open exchange on campus. It doesn't even matter at this point in some places whether you try to recommit to those principles because there's no ideological diversity. Celebrated computer science professor David Gerlertner recently said the political diversity at Yale is low. It's actually 0%. That's what he wrote in an email. While there are a few conservatives, including prominent ones, their numbers are not high enough to have a significant impact on campus culture. So when you've eliminated dissenters, you've eliminated dissent, and that's reinforced by both the faculty and the administrators at places like Yale, which, as you say, and this was also a point made in the movie, No Safe Spaces, these are the people that are going to be CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, deans at universities that continue to pay this forward, as well as on the bench, in public office, and the like.
Yeah, well, it's already happening. Again, look at the New York Times with this awful 1619 project, brainwashing students that America represents nothing good and only evil. Every corporation is in terror of the race and gender bean counters. I will vote against every single female who shows up on a corporate proxy ballot or mutual fund proxy ballot that I receive, because I assume that she's only there because of her sex, not because she actually knows something about, say, running a pharmaceutical company. And the pressures to get rid of colorblind hiring standards, any corporation, any law firm, any bank that is not showing proportional numbers of females and underrepresented minorities, regardless of the fact that there are massive academic achievement gaps that explain why we do not have proportional representation of underrepresented minorities. We're not allowed to say that. And instead you have pressures to hire and promote simply on the basis of race and gender. And that's happening in the sciences as well, which is where we should really be worried that we're learning that, being colorblind when it comes to engineering and physics is simply a sign of white supremacy. So we are putting our medical technology at risk. We're putting our scientific edge at risk because this diversity obsession that says that race and gender is the most important thing about an individual, that discrimination based on those characteristics defines the American experience, that is taking over. And the reality is the opposite, Dan and Amy. Again, being a female is an advantage. You're going to get enormous advantages. If you have a white male son and he's not trans or gay, woe unto him, because he is going to have a much harder time getting admitted to competitive schools and getting hired on a job, because unless we can stop this diversity obsession and delusion, he's going to be a pariah for the rest of his life.
She is Heather McDonald, contributing editor for City Journal, author of the bestseller, The War on Cops. Check out her recent piece at City Journal, Why Are College Students So Afraid of Me? Heather McDonald, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
What's the easiest way to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature is the quickest and easiest way to consume several different sources of clean energy from the sun. By simply removing the water and air, Balance of Nature can take 31 whole fruits and vegetables and put them into quick and easy-to-eat capsules. With just 3 fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get the equivalent of over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's a lot of stored energy that your body will love. So if you are looking for an easier way to get clean energy, go to balanceofnature.com and order your bottles of sunshine today.
Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 25% off of your first order. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Gentlemen, if you've been feeling tired, grumpy, sluggish all the time, you could have low testosterone levels, or it could even be sleep apnea. Millions of men not only suffer from low T, but also undiagnosed sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a common and serious health condition. It's where you actually stop breathing throughout the night while you sleep and can last up to 10 seconds per interruption. Low T Center provides a complete health assessment to get all your levels checked, and now offers a home sleep apnea test that you take in the comfort of your own bed instead of a lab or an uncomfortable hospital. During December, it's only $49 to take their home sleep test to determine whether or not you have sleep apnea. So if you think this might be you, go to Low T Center and get it checked out now for just $49. It's even covered by most health insurance, and my friends at Low T will verify that insurance for you and make it fast and easy. Call today to schedule your appointment and tell them Dan Proft sent you when you do. The number is 630-451-9352. Again, call Low T at 630-451-9352. You can also schedule online by visiting lowtcenter.com. That website, lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors, from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stack for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and I have an exclusive offer for our listeners just in time for the holidays. If you buy a set of Giza cotton sheets from MyPillow, you'll get a second set free, 2 for 1. Not only that, but you'll get free shipping. If you add anything else to your order, like MyPillows, mattress toppers, towels, anything, those items will ship free too. And you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, but you have to use the promo code AMY. I love MyPillow. I can't sleep without it. And I just started sleeping with my brand new Giza cotton sheets, and I'm sleeping so much better. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special box, and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1, plus free shipping on your entire order. That's MyPillow.com. Click the radio specials box and enter the promo code AMY. Or call 800-489-0201. MyPillow.com, promo code AMY.
AM 560, The Answer.
Tis the season for giving, and we're almost to our goal. Our goal this year is to provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families that are living in Colombia. They escaped to save their own lives. The average Venezuelan lost 25 pounds because there is no food to eat. There's no food on the shelves, and even if there was, a loaf of bread is an entire month's earnings. So we have to do what we can to help those less fortunate, especially this holiday season. Food for the Poor, we're asking for a one-time donation of $300, $25 a month, and that will feed a family of 4 for a year. Go to 560theanswer.com, search for the keyword